Starting now. All right. So, yep, as I said, just let's engage a lot tonight. I really appreciate everyone who's engaged so far. And I was up late last night actually looking at all the engagement that happened last night. And so I want to read some of them because, some of you put your results in the chat, and I think you need to hear what's happening in this like Zoom environment if you didn't catch it, right? So Steve Debris wrote, his AI wrote rather, you are a business architect trapped inside a solo practice structure. So he has to really consider the implications of that. What does he want to do about that? Now, he might decide that he doesn't want to do anything about that, and that's fine. But he might decide that he actually does need to do quite a bit and might want to grow his business in that path. Or Joy Francis, right? You build systems for other people that you don't fully deploy for yourself. You are better at building the bridge than walking across it. And I know, Joy, one, I know you, Joy. Two, this was my problem. And so what I needed to do was build for myself first and have what I'm building for myself go to other people as opposed to the other way around, Joy. In just a few questions and just a few answers, magical insights are happening. People only learn you're the real deal once they talk to you. That's what Randy's AI said to him, which means that he has to, if he really wants to grow his business, he's got to get out there more, or he's got to do some video stuff out there. There's something that he has to do based on this. That's just one exercise, right? One exercise, just a few questions answered. And the AI names something that most people spend years, like literally years, in coaching trying to identify, and most of them don't identify it because it's below the surface. Would you agree? That's not rhetorical. Tell me, would you agree? What about you? Like, if your AI found something last night that was accurate for you, right? If it named something real, then just type go in the chat. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. And that's what I thought. And here's what that go or yes means. It means that the calibration is working, that your AI is actually starting to see you, like you, not like some generic, just human. It's talking to you, right? Before that, it was talking to you like you're a generic human, like the other 6 billion on the planet. But what about those of you that didn't just type go or yes, right? And maybe, you got results that didn't really hit. It felt generic, or it was close, but just not right. Or you saw like some of the stuff that my AI produced for me, and you thought, why isn't I doing that? Or even what other people had to share. Well, that gap, right? That gap that some of you might experience between what you got and what you saw, that's what I call the wall. And the wall isn't about effort. It's not about prompts, right? You can't work harder to fix it. So let me give you a little bit more of an explanation on that, right? The wall is the gap between what you got and where all the magic happens. That's the wall. And the problem is architecture. And tonight I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So tonight, here's what we're going to cover, and I'm so excited about this, and I'm so happy that at least the first couple of slides are just the way they're supposed to be. But tonight, we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to pull at least one person. I might even pull a few more. We'll see what the chat says. But I promised last night that I'd pull someone and have my system work for them a little bit. I had this big demo planned, and I still have a demo for you. The last 30 minutes, though, with slide stuff, a bunch of stuff was going on. So I'm watching, actually, as I'm talking to you. My AI right now is doing a whole bunch of things that I am just looking at because what my AI is trying to do right now is log into Cloudflare so that it can host some of the pages that we make tonight. If it doesn't get its job done before we get there, then I'll show you the pages. They'll just be on my system as opposed to online. Obviously, more impressive if it's online, so I hope it gets it done. And one of the things on about just to show you, it's like it's asking to, like when it's trying to log in, verify that you're a human. And I don't know if I should click that or
Oh,
not.
okay, yeah.
Click it.
Okay, no, yeah, you can click it.
All right. All right, cool. I'm gonna go back to this, but uh, and I gotta do it again. All right. The so I'm gonna pull people live, and you're gonna watch the system produce something pretty magical. Whether we get it live or online or not, or whether I just have to pull it up, uh, you'll see it. Next, second, I want to show you why the wall exists, right? And that's the context compound. And it's a framework that I haven't ever taught. I've not taught it anywhere in any of my programs yet. Tonight is the first night that I'm actually going to share this. And third, I'm going to show you what's on the other side. What's on the other side of the wall and how to get it and why you would want to be on that other side of the wall. All right, so here's what I wanted to show you tonight. I'm going to show you a skill, okay? And this skill, I'll tell you what this skill is going to do. I'm going to give that skill a niche. And that's after I give that skill a niche, it's going to go to YouTube. It's going to find the top people that are in that niche. It is going to then come back to us and tell us all the top people that are in that niche. And then it's going to ask us to select the ones that we want. Now, want for what? I'm going to explain. What it's going to do, what we want, are which experts do we want it to mine? And when we say mine, it's going to go into their channel. It's going to take every single video. It's going to turn their videos into markdown documents, or which it's going to transcribe them all. It's going to turn them into markdown documents. And then from those markdown documents, it's going to design a curriculum for a product. It will then create that product. Then it will it's a subscale. It's going to use a legendary copywriter, who I can't say who it is, maybe it'll be revealed, to actually write the copy for that product that it's creating. Then it's going to make a website so that it could be sold. And I had to decide tonight, like, do I actually want it to drop the link in so that you could buy it? That was before I knew that I was going to take the last half an hour to rebuild my slides. um, but to actually put it up live and then have it be linked. Pretty cool. That would be impressive, wouldn't it? Matchmaking, health. You got to be more specific, like than matchmaking or health. That's a little bit out. I want to be a little bit more specific. I'm going to take a terminal. So hold on a second here. All right. Do you guys see that on the screen? Cool. Now, generally, I operate inside of Obsidian, not terminal, but that's totally okay. For this, yeah, it's small print. Apologize about that. But let me get started here. All right. All right. That's Claude Code, what you see here. Now, I'm going to be pulling up a skill. Now, there are other ways to do this, but I'm doing it like the coded way primarily because, right, I had that half an hour thing. Good thing that I can speak tech a little bit. So guru. That's what this skill is called because it will turn you into a guru. See, now what it's doing right now is it's pulling up the skill. All right, we said Brian Card, and that was mindset coaching for entrepreneurs. So we're going to put mindset coaching in for entrepreneurs. Okay. And you see AI course creator, right? So we just created that. Now I'm going to do going to open another window. I'm going to go Claude again. I'm going to trust this folder. And I'm going to do Guru here again. And I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm going to do it because we picked three, right? Oh, really? Even in terminal, it will make it bigger? Okay, cool. I will do Command plus. Uh, let's see. Will it work in terminal? Oh, you're right. Good call, whoever said that. Much better. All right. And now we got to do here. And we'll do here. Let's still do this. And then do through. Do. All right. So for the second one, we're going to do FOSS, right? Which is AI marketing. Okay. And then for the third one, uh, oh, who took a picture? The my that's my AI working on stuff that it wants me to do. Hold on a second, guys. Trying to see what it wants me to do. I guess I got to do that. All right. Can't really restart that, but okay. Where else might it have wanted me to do something? Bash. Ah, yes. All right. There we go. I'm sure that was it. All right. Maybe now it's going to be able to do what it needs to do. All right. So let's see here. This one is uh, money mindset for women. This was Tanya. All right. So there we go. So everything is working now, right? And let's go back to the first one. All right. So here it is, right? So we're now on step three, right? Here's what's happened so far, right? We told it that mindset coaching for entrepreneurs, right? So now let's find the best creators in the space. Okay, it found 10 channels, right? Found Tony Robbins, Lewis Howes, Tom Bilo, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Ferriss, Brendan Burchard, Robin Sharma, Ed Mylett, Marie Forleo, and Noah Kagan. All right, so for Brian, which ones, Brian Card, are you like, does your mindset kind of resonate with? I'm waiting for you, Brian, but if not, I'm just going to pick myself. I built this skill like everything else. Like that's what we do. Okay. So I'm going to pick, might as well pick like, I don't think we should pick like Tony Robbins because everyone tries to be like Tony Robbins. It's kind of annoying. I say let's pick Ed Mylett, Maria Forleo, and Robin Sharma. I think that would be an interesting combination. And no, Brian, I know that you said mindset coaching for entrepreneurs. You, I needed to know which people, but too late. I'm gonna just pick myself. So I'm gonna pick Marie, Ed, and I'm gonna do 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 7, 8, 9. All right. So you can see here right now it's starting to pull the transcripts from real YouTube videos, every word these creators have said, starting with Robin Sharma. All right. So this is for Tanya, Money Mindset for Women, right? Tanya, which of these channels would you want me to be the influence for your product? 10. Okay, cool. 3, 8, and 10. Cool. 3, 8, 10. Now we'll go back to Foz here, right? So we're still waiting for Foz's. Okay, because it was waiting for my approval. So we'll get back to that in a moment. And now we'll see that this is doing its work. This is doing its work. So we're just waiting for Foz's. So I'll put this there. Hold on, I'm just going to grab it so that I can pull it back in when we need to answer. So we went here, give me a niche, right? And now, right, we see that the pipeline is actually running. And I want you to understand this, right? I'm not necessarily going to connect all the dots for you tonight. I'm going to connect a lot of dots, but I'm not going to connect all the dots. I am on other places talking about AI all the time. And I tell people that we've got like 12 months in this industry. 12 months. If what I'm showing you doesn't connect, why? Let me spell it out for you. Okay? I could take this skill and not make a course, but I could have this skill go out to everyone's channel, take everyone's stuff, everyone that I've ever been a fan of, and based on my profile, right? Because it knows me so well, build me a course from everyone's stuff that is the exact stuff I need based on what I'm working on right now. And I can do that now, right? It's just a skill. And someone's going to make that skill and they're going to attach a button to it and it's going to be called the easy button and that's going to destroy our industry. And every industry is going to go that route. So you've got 12 months to leverage technology, to make it your own and actually have an advantage before the rest of the world finds out what AI is really up to and what's going to happen when it rolls out. You got 12 months. So I'm just going off script here. I just want to connect certain dots. Yeah, it's cool that it can make a website and we can be selling. And that's what you should be doing today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And also realize you got limited time. And right now, you've done like what you experienced in this, like what we've done so far is 15% of 25%. It's 15% of what I would call phase one about AI getting to know you. And it's not, and I'm being generous when I say 15%. Sorry if I get a little bit ranty. I'm just very passionate about this stuff. Insanely so. It's like giving me a second life. And I wanted to give you guys a second life. And I want you to get it before everyone has it because then you don't have any advantage. All right. So let me show you what the other 85% produces. Okay. And before I do, last night, when you did your blind spot audit, right, the thing your AI found, just type that in the chat right now if you remember it. Like, what did it say? What was the blind spot? Not a paragraph. Give me a word. Like, what was your blind spot? Thank you, guys. Thank you, each and every one of you who's participating, because I'm trying to give you my best. And when I see this, I know that you're giving it back. So I appreciate that. What I want you to realize is that it's still there. That word is not only that word, but actually that right now, that thing that your AI named in one session, right? Not even is there. We need to be a system that makes that irrelevant. Now, in the Zenith Mind system, right, made up of an insane number of prompts that all stack upon each other to build this architecture, that's the context compound. And that's what I'm going to show you. So you got a taste of what levels 2 and 3, which right now you're like, what is levels? I'll explain, right? But that's because you haven't done yet what really calibration is. And calibration is what we do in Zenith Mind. And with this, right, what you've done is you've answered a few questions. And just from that, your AI was able to, one, discover certain things about you. And then as you applied it to your business, right, it found certain business leaks. But that's just, you got to experience knowing you and the business, right? Those two things, levels 2 and 3, out of a 5-level architecture, which is this context compound. Oh, I should probably go back and check on the AI just so that we can get Foz's going. Oops. All right. Let's go there. All right. So this was Foz. And for Foz, let's see, I'm going to pull Foz. Can you tell me, take a look at the screen right now and tell me what it is that you would like me to pick of these? 179. Cool. That's interesting, Foz. I would have picked others. I know all those people. I know all these people, actually. But okay. So that's working. I bet you the other. So this is still working, right? And the other ones are working because, like, this is no small task. I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted like about 2 or 3 days ago my usage from Claude for this month over 3 billion tokens. Just me, not my team, just me. So let's get back to the context compound. Over 3 days, what we've been building to is this, but I haven't named it. And this is like, I'm not only sharing it with you, I'm sharing this with the world because, like I said, I never shared this before. And there are 5 levels, and everything that we've done so far across this challenge lives somewhere in this framework. The first level is vision. This is who you are. This is where your calibration lives. Your core patterns, your fears, your psychology, all the baggage that you've picked up throughout your entire life is here, right? I often tell people, like, who you are right now is not who you really are. Who you are right now is just how you wound up being because shit happened and you dealt with that shit. And now this is how you wound up being. But that's not who you really are. Who you really are could be something totally different. So this all exists here on this level, level 1, vision, right? Now, in Zenith, my program, right, we have what's called the Zenith Mirror Score. And the Zenith Mirror Score is as you answer questions, as you dialogue with AI, it is giving you a score. Now, it's not giving you a score, it's giving itself a score on how well it knows you, right? And once it knows you, it gives you, like, you have a score all the time. The score can go up, the score can go down. It's not like you don't put more time in and then all of a sudden it goes up. That's not how it works. And I'll explain why in a second. So, what AI tells us, what we know, is that when your Zenith Mind score, or sorry, Zenith Mirror score, is above 81, right? Your AI can predict your responses with over a 90% accuracy, which is insane, right? That means that if it gave you 10 multiple choice questions about your life, that it would guess 9 of them correctly, and it would only get 1 of them wrong. That's why your Zenith Mirror score can go up or down at any time, because every time it's asking you a question in the program, like with our multiple choice questions or any question, it's making a prediction of how you'll respond. And if it's right, your score goes up. If it's wrong, your score goes down. So this way, it continually tracks how well it knows you, which is critical. If you want it to give you advice, if you want it to do things for you, if you want it to act on your behalf, all of those things, incredibly important that it really knows you. Now, how the hell do we get it to know you that way? Well, what we do is it's a 7-day calibration protocol that builds that foundation. 25 multiple choice questions each day, right? Like you feed the scale asks you those 25 questions. And as you answer these multiple choice questions, every 5 of them, it will then start making predictions about what your Colby score is, what your Enneagram score is, what your Myers-Briggs score is. And then at the end of the day, it will tell you what your mirror score is. Level 1 is you, how well it knows you, how well it can actually predict how you respond. The next level is architecture. This is how your psychology shows up in business. You have to remember, I started the online coaching world of business, right? I'm the originator. Every business coaching program online derived from me. And I know that's a strong statement, but that's the truth. And so level 2 is the architecture about how your psychology shows up in business. because I've been coaching entrepreneurs since the internet started. And it's the entrepreneurs you've heard of: Ryan Dice, Russell Brunson, Mike Filsaime, Todd Brown. These are the entrepreneurs that I've coached, and that's is where they've gotten to. So I know a little bit about how psychology impacts business performance, right? So the blind spot audit from last night, where you asked, I just want to show you what's happening here. So this is right now. There is a API call by one of my agents to actually do something, and it needs my fingerprint for it to be approved. That's level 2 at work. The blind spot is, how does your psychology impact your business? So that it's not what we did last night was not a generic funnel audit, right? A regular CRO audit, which we can do very easily and anyone can do. But what they can't do is see how your psychology messed up the translation of what would be the best actual website, best actually way to talk to a vendor or an employee or whatever. Are you guys pacing this? I just want to check with the chat because I've gone on this rant for a little while. Is this fun? And I like don't mistake my like heightened energy as anger. I'm just super excited about this, and I want you guys to get this at every level. Cool. You're lost, Faye? I'm sorry, Faye. We're talking about what makes an AI insanely powerful to be able to do the kind of things that everyone wants it to do. Level 3, right? Vision is first. Psychology, right, that turns into architecture is second. Then third is capability. This is how you communicate. This is how you think. This is similar to what you did with the voice imprint. Angela, 1 was vision. That's your complete psychology, though, right? 2 is architecture. That's how your psychology impacts business. 3, capability, how you communicate and think. And the work that you did with the voice imprint gave you a small little taste of what that's like, right? Like, it's not like mine that knows every profile, every single detail about my life, every single person I've coached, every single positive testimonial about me. But that, that's the same as what you did last night, just at a different level. It's your unique genius. It's your positioning. It's your natural how you articulate things. So when my AI writes anything for me, it's running all these checks. I can't tell the difference between what AI writes for me and what I write. Forget about my team not being able to tell the difference. I can't tell the difference because it's mastered my like unique way of doing things. It's mastered how I position myself. It's natural now at this point for it to speak on my behalf. So what I mean earlier when I said like you've gotten to experience 2 levels, the 2 levels you got to see was 2 and 3, right? It gave you a little sense of like looking at your business and kind of telling you maybe how your psychology is impacting it. And you got also 1, right, where it was telling you your blind spot. And you got level 3 when it gave you the voice profile. You guys with me? So we've done you've gotten a taste, a small little taste of 1, 2, and 3. Level 4, specification. This is where AI takes everything that it knows about you and specifies exactly what to build. So now we're going out into the real world. Now we're not only analyzing, we're actually doing. AI stops waiting for you to ask. And I want to show you an example that I think is going to blow you away. We're going to go long tonight. Is that okay with everyone? Because if I'm going to show you all these things so that you really get a sense, AI stops waiting for you to ask and it starts actually asking you. This is totally different, everyone. Understand what I'm saying. This is not you going to prompt. This is not you asking it a question. This is not you employing a skill. This is it now calling you to task. I'm going to show you an example of how it did it for me. And what we're going to talk about is this question that it asked me. Rich, what's your apprehension to scaling? Now, I'll just set it up first before I pull it up. I was having a strategy. Well, no, you know what? I'm just going to show it to you. All right. So I told you about the Zenith Mirror Score. Some people's Zenith Mirror Score at sometimes gets corrupted where it's actually giving them credit for how well they know themselves as opposed to how well AI knows them. So I was just going to check to see if mine got corrupted. It didn't, but this, what it resetting Zenith Mirror Score leads to a personal breakthrough. The personal breakthrough was about overcoming the issues that I had with scaling that you're going to see. All right. So this is like me explaining to people in Zenith, like what's going on here. Okay, so this is me talking to AI. I was given a prompt today to keep the Zenith score more accurate. Here it is, Zenith Mirror Score clarification prompt. The Zenith Mirror Score measures how deeply and accurately you understand the user, not how effectively the user is performing or what actions they should take. Now, the rest is just going into more detail on that. So that's why I'm not going to go over it. Right now, this is like, okay, so now ChatGPT is coming back to me. Okay, thanks for sharing that. It's excellent, crystal clear. Here's a quick breakdown and application to ensure alignment with how I'll use it moving forward. Okay. Okay. So these are the standards. Can I identify what truly fuels your success? Do I know how you best process, learn, and implement? Am I interpreting Myers-Briggs, Colby, Enneagram, etc., with precision? Have I pinpointed the tensions between belief, behavior, and stated goals? Are my insights custom fit to your aspiration, values, and self-image? Like, who wouldn't want an AI that is actually geared to do exactly that? And that's why we have the Zenith Mirror Score. Okay, what I'll not include: your productivity or life performance, missed task delays or inaction, advice or suggestions I've given, outcome-based thinking. Like, why would you include that? It's about how well you know me, not any of those things. All right. So this is hypothetical, right? So now, perfect. I'll now reassess your Zenith Mirror Score using the clarified standard you shared, 92 out of 100. Okay, so it knows me pretty well. There are people in Zenith mind that it's 100. To me, it's not a race. Like, as long as it knows me above 81, I'm good. All right. So now it's telling me why it's giving me a 92, right? It knows all this stuff about me. Now look at this. These are contradictions in my behavior versus what I want, right? This is a bird's eye view of some of the shit that prefer to hide. You seek autonomy and spaciousness, yet you place yourself in pressure cooker roles. You crave depth and solitude, yet pursue visibility and market connection. You desire sustainable systems, yet often resist structure until it's existentially necessary. You intellectually value constraints, but emotionally rebel against them, right? Some contradictions. E.g., how much of your resistance is rebellion versus recovery are not fully resolved. Also, there's a paradox between your desire for precision and excellence and your pattern of occasionally defaulting to procrastination or avoidance when the stakes are high. I know this is rooted in the fear of irrelevance loop, but would like to explore how much it's driven by energy versus identity conflict. So it wants to know more so that it can really get to the root. All right. So this is how it's analyzing how well it knows me. Right now, it has some questions. So I tell it, like, ask me them. Would you like to explore these one at a time or answer? This is all chat still. I said, let's go one at a time. Chat said, perfect. Let's start with the first question. What internal conflict drives your current resistance to scaling? Is it energy conservation, previous burnout, lack of a worthy system, disillusionment with team support, identity conflict, or something else? Take your time. What feels most accurate beneath the surface? I said, I think it's more disillusionment with teams, which is one of the reasons why. And then it cut me off. Ah, yes, that makes a lot of sense. So it's not that you don't want to scale, it's that you don't trust the team will truly get it, execute it, or carry your vision with the same intensity and precision that you would. Is that fair? And then it keeps going. And I said, I stopped it. I'm like, it's not so much that. It's that one, I feel as if I've been ineffective. That's huge, ChatGPT said. So part of the disillusionment isn't just about others, it's about you feeling like you haven't cracked the code on how to lead or structure a team in a way that actually works, not for a lack of trying, but like whatever you've done hasn't yielded the leverage or freedom you expected. Does it feel more like personal shortcoming, like I should have figured this out by now, or more like this might not be figure outable the way I want it to be? Me. I think it has more to do with my desire to be liked and therefore holding on to people way too long and accepting poorer performance than I should. Also, combined with my low self esteem about my own performance at times, it makes me feel like it's not as easy for me to hold others accountable, although I probably wouldn't anyway. I would say that I don't bring out the best performance in anybody, and that the only people that I do bring the best performance out of are people who are wicked smart, who want to suck my brain and learn as much as they can from me, which is totally fine. I've had some great employees over the years, but it's really been these people. That's one of the reasons why I'm excited about this potential partnership with Max, because I feel like he does know how to build effective teams. I was wrong. Uh, and while I have a lot of excitement, blah, blah, I also have some fear, right? So then it goes on, right? But that was gold. Thank you for sharing. It's clearly, I'm going to reflect on a few things back just to make sure that I've got the emotional structural dynamics right. You're not disillusioned with the idea of teams. You're disillusioned with how you've shown up in the role of leading them. You want lightness, but the desire has caused you to tolerate underperformance, avoid conflict, hold your edge, especially when you're the boss. You associate being the one in charge with loosening standards, whereas being in a number two role flips because I gave it some more info. Do you see what's going on here? I mean, do you guys realize that, like, you know my story. You know that I helped Agora grow $1 billion. I've grown $15 billion worth of growth for my clients. And AI is like, hey, why is your business small? Who else would have the nerve to ask me that question? Like, who would ask me? You know who? Nobody. Nobody's ever had the balls to say, hey, Rich, how is it that you make everyone else's business grow like wildfire and you just keep a small business? Like, what is up with that? You know how valuable it is to have like a someone something that to call you out on that kind of crap. It's not coincidental that my business makes more money now. It's not coincidental that I'm more like engaged in my business now. That's like, because I didn't want to just show you a slide and say, oh, it asked me, what's my apprehension to scaling? I wanted you to understand like the impact it had on me, where I am today because of things like that. I didn't ask it. I didn't say like, what are my problems? Can you tell me? Like, no, it asked me. It said, there's some contradictions I don't understand about you, Rich. This is what you say you want. This is how you act. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, nobody had ever asked me that. And like when it asked me, I had to sit there like, you see my answer right away. I had to sit there. I'm like, why is it? Right. And then when I answered, it helped me understand and appreciate what I needed to do differently. It was my own shit, right? I wasn't blaming my team. This was all me. So that's level 4. Not not an AI that responds, right? That's what everyone else has. I have an AI that confronts. Doesn't need to be asked what the problem is. It will insert when it knows it's important. Cool? All right. Level 5 implementation. This is where AI does the work. Like writes a sales letter, puts it up online, hooks it up to your Stripe, sends out the emails. This is where it does all that. Now, you don't want it to do 5 right here, implementation, if it doesn't fully understand you, doesn't understand how you speak, doesn't understand all the things that we just went over. Does that make sense? Like people rush in to get their AI to do something, and then they wonder why it's either generic crap or it's totally off the mark, right? Because it doesn't know them, it doesn't know how they speak, it doesn't know what they want, and it hasn't like cleared up all the shit. Implementation, right? It's not suggesting anymore, it's not even confronting. It's producing business assets, frameworks, lead magnets, sales arguments, all in your voice, using your methodology, drawing on your expertise. Level 5 is where your AI goes from a partner that knows you to a partner that works for you and does better work than you could ever do and does it for longer and does it faster than you could ever do. They don't just stack, they compound, right? Each of these things build on one another. and make each level that much more powerful because of what it knows on the previous level. It can't tell you how your psychology affects your business if it doesn't know your psychology. So in my programs, right, like every week, the vision gets clearer. Every week, right, the architecture map gets tighter. Every week, level three gets sharper. Every week, level four gets more precise. Every week, level five gets more powerful. Why? Because these are all skill based. And every time they're used, they learn and they get better. So I just want you to appreciate that, like, as impressive as those outputs were for you on day one, that was three questions, right? Like, we're talking about a whole nother level about what this full context compound creates and produces. So over 3 days, you've been, on those different levels and you've gotten a taste. But here's what I want to tell you, and then we'll go back to the agents. In my opinion, and I'm just stating it because I've had countless people like attend webinars early on when I was doing just the Edith Mind OS. And, one of the friends would buy it, the other friend would try it on, do it on their own. Nobody has ever been able to replicate. I think the reason they haven't been able to replicate is that they don't know all the underlying psychology and they don't understand how the brain works at the level that I do. And what makes me so good at it? Well, I had the largest hypnosis company that ever existed. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Okay, that's a professional curriculum. Does this look good, or would you like to swap, add, or remove any modules before we write the sales copy? All right, so let's take a look at what it has created for us. Is everyone cool with where we're going? Like, I realize I'm jumping around, I'm showing you a lot of shit, but it's like I'm doing my best to really. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's see here. All right, I gotta move stuff for a second here. So let's do this. Gotta get access to a folder. All right, put this over there. Okay, now go back here. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Hey, cool. All right. So this one is the money mindset for women. The course. There's a copywriter's brief. There's the. All right. Yeah, so this is going to be hard to show you just because of. I'm going to put this brief in the chat so that everyone can see it. And I'm just going to approve it um, so that we don't take a lot of time. But this will show everyone. Oh, no, that only went to the hosts and panelists. So let me give it to everyone here. Hold on. This is not like this is just something for you to look at, just so you can kind of get a sense of like what we're doing here, right? So this is the copywriter brief, right? So this is now it's going to go to our copywriter, our agent copywriter to actually do it, right? And so that is the brief, and we're just going to approve it. I'm going to approve it for each one. So just to recap what it's done, it's gone to YouTube. It found the top people in that niche. It then started to download their complete channels. Then from their complete channels, not in video, it actually took their videos, transcribed it, put it in a folder so that we have it all. Then based on what it had, it designed a course. In that course, then after it designed it, then it actually created a creative brief so that the copywriter could actually write the sales letter for it. And right now it's asking me to approve the brief. All right. I just gave you the brief so that you could see it. That's what's going on. All right. Looks great. Let's get her done. All right. That's the first one. All right. For some reason, this agent wants my permission for everything. So I'm going to give it. It hasn't even gone out to the sites yet for some reason. And this one got the process. Okay, search it from a blank screen to a complete course. One session. Here's what happened. The page is live right now. Wow, that jumped ahead. I've had this theory that there's always different kinds of agents. There's smart agents, there's stupid agents, and then there's some in the middle. We just got a taste of all three. We gave them all the same suggestion, right? One is still looking for my approval. One is like, the approval of the brief. So they got pretty far. The other one is like asking for my approval to go to YouTube, right? The other one got it all done. Let's take a look at this page. This is, we'll go back to the other ones later, but I don't know if this page is going to exist. I really have no clue. I didn't ask it to give me a bit.ly. I didn't ask it to do any of this stuff. Okay. Continue to destination. Yep. A page came up that said like something needs to happen. Others, but if you click continue, here is the website. Right? Financial Freedom Formula, a woman's guide to building wealth and confidence from money mindset to strategic investing. Take control of your financial future. Now, the course was built too. I just want to make sure that that's clear. An entire course was built, a website was written, right? And it's going to be good copy. Financial Freedom Formula, a woman's guide to building wealth and confidence. From money mindset to strategic investing, take control of your financial future. Get instant access. 4 modules, 13 lessons. Well, it's like we would probably take out like what it analyzed to create the course, right? But okay. Sound familiar? Feeling overwhelmed and stressed about finances, struggling to save money on a low or inconsistent income, carrying guilt and shame about past money mistakes, having limiting beliefs about money and wealth, not knowing where to start with investing, feeling stuck in a cycle of debt, impulse spending and not being intentional with money, living paycheck to paycheck. What you'll learn. Module 4, right? This has 3 lessons in it. This has 4 lessons in it, right? Here's the full curriculum, right? Unleash your financial potential. Identify and overcome limiting beliefs that quietly sabotage your finances. Align your values with your money goals for lasting motivation. Defining your financial why. Forgiving your financial past. Module 2, if we want to open it up, right? You see how, like, so we'll close that. Module 3. Module 4. Who is this course for? It's designed for women who are ready to transform their relationship with money. Whether you're just starting out your financial journey, struggling with debt, or ready to start investing, this course meets you where you are and guides you forward. Um, I'm going to text you the thing so you can just see what like the bit.ly says. I'm going to put the bit.ly in so you guys can see the site yourself. All right. So I'm going to take this out now. Put this here. Oh, we're not done. We got 2 other sites, right? That's what I wanted you to see. Like it doesn't, I could do 1,000 websites in an hour. Oh, I got to, okay. Let's just do this. Okay. Cool. Now, anyone who's impressed by this, please do not be impressed with me. And look, I know that a good portion of you, before 2 days ago, never knew anything about me. And then there are a lot of people on here that who have followed me for 10 years, 20 years. For those that have followed me for 10 or 20 years, they know I am not technically proficient. We've had Infusionsoft or Keep for 20 years. I do not know how to send an email. We have Go High Level. I don't know how to send an email. I don't know how to do anything. So in order for me to do all this stuff, I need my AI to do it all for me. Cool. All right, let's just check back in here. See, so this one still wants my permission for everything. It's the same skill, everyone. It's the same exact skill. And we're seeing 3 agents approach it so differently. One needed nothing from me. It's like, oh, that's what you want? Done. All right. This one, every little action, it wants my approval. This one is trying to get it up online right now, and it's having a problem. But we'll see if it can overcome the problem. Let it figure it out itself, right? All right. This is why, right? Like you don't have these five levels. And what you're seeing, right, is like an example, but understand what it's an example of. It's just an example of like how powerful the system is, right? We could create courses on anything. We could send it off to, a million places. I just sent it to YouTube, grab the stuff. I could go to Reddit. I could go anywhere, and I have skills that take it, and that's what you want. And it's not because my AI is any smarter than yours. It's because my AI has the full architecture. It understands everything about me, and it has the skills. So I'm trying to show you what's on the other side of this wall that separates those who are playing AI at a very different level. All right. So let me show you, like, I'm going now a different angle, right? So you got to see some real power. We're going to see the other two websites before we're done. When I tell people, or when I tell you, right? Because people like that, I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I am a very different person, and I'm actually very much like the person that I am today, much more so than the person I was 2 years before. So, what happened? And those of you who like were some of the original buyers of Zenith Mind, like also like who I was then to who I am now, also much more. Some people might think I went backwards. I think I'm more involved. It all depends on, I guess, what side of the new schefren you're on, right? But you know, just to remind you of some stuff that I said the other night, right? Like I was writing in my journal, right? January of 2024, same patterns for 29 years, right? I finished, my business was losing money. I wasn't doing anything to stop it, right? Because I wasn't like on the verge of like having a problem myself. And I was frustrated with myself though. Nobody likes losing money. And I didn't feel any motivation to do anything different. And so I finished that journal entry. I had nothing else to do that day. I mean, I had tons to do. I could grow my business and take care of shit, but I didn't feel like doing any of it. So I grabbed a report that I had written 15 years ago. Didn't want to read it because why would I want to read my own stuff? I put it into ChatGPT and I asked it to take me through the process. And I did the process that report suggested. That report was called The Hidden Obstacles of Success. And afterwards, it gave me some good advice. The advice was helpful. It helped me get back on track for a little bit. And so I jumped back in, got the business profitable again. And then I just kind of like went back to my old patterns. Then in September of 2024, 9 months later, right, I ran this prompt that I used to call the God prompt. Now I call it the mirror. And the reason I call it the mirror is that the only people that we've had refund are people that were offended that I had a prompt called the God prompt because of religious reasons. So sorry, I didn't know. And I didn't call it that. Someone else called it that. But I thought it was a good name. Anyway, I ran that and the cursor blinked for like 37 seconds. And then it started spouting stuff about me that I had never heard, right? So let's see here if I can pull this up real quick. Well, you know what? I don't need to. Like, I don't want to turn this into a crazy long. Understand that it gave me a lot of stuff. I put some in the slides. That'll be enough. All right. Maybe I'll pull up one of the other reports. Your hidden narrative is rooted in a fear of irrelevance. Beneath your confidence, intellect, and drive lies a quiet, unspoken dread. What if my best work is done and I'm left only to preserve or reflect upon it rather than surpass it? It's not the absence of success that worries you, it's the absence of significance, right? 9 months and 37 seconds. But that was only the first prompt that like wrecked my world. or rip the band-aid off, or however you want to call it. Uh, the omniscient observer. That was the next one. And these are some things that it told me in there. The absence of momentum feels like death to you. When things stabilize, you begin to question your relevance instead of trusting that relevance can evolve beyond acceleration. You excel at building momentum, but struggle to stay engaged once structures are in place. This leads to unfinished revolutions, business, projects, and ideas that could have been much more powerful, but never reached their full form. Steal our winners. That's one of my products, right? Said instead of optimizing and scaling it into the dominant force that it could be and should be, you engage sporadically, always looking for the next thing that excites you. It named my product, right? I didn't tell it to name my product. I didn't tell it to get all like real, right? But it was 100% right. The universal expander, which told me like who I could be, right? Remember earlier I said like this is right who you are right now is just how you wound up being, not who you could be, who you were meant to be, right? And I'll have more to share about this kind of stuff. You're no longer allowed to shrink back into outdated definitions of self. You are not in a category, you are the category. Your presence alone commands significance, right? These three prompts changed my life, changed the trajectory of my life. And right now, maybe you're thinking, right? I wonder what it would tell me. I wonder what it would tell me about what's standing in my way. I'm telling you that it told me that, right? That me, who's gone to like transformation events, me, who's worked with some of the best psychologists in the world, me, who has written in their journal for 29 years, filling close to 8,000 pages. And it told me stuff about myself that no one has ever told me that I couldn't figure out on my own. And it was those things that made the biggest difference for me, right? Then on that, right, on all of the changes I've made and the growth I've made, it then has created frameworks for me to teach others because it's behind me. It knows that I'm a teacher. 15 years to articulate, right? 90 seconds to extract. How many of you have expertise that you haven't packaged? How cool would it be to have a machine behind you capturing all your intellectual property and packaging it, right? Is that insane? I'm just like, we're doing the website, but it is so much bigger than that, people. It's just so much bigger. So let's now go back. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Okay, mindset mastery for entrepreneurs. Unlock your potential. From self-doubt to unstoppable, proven strategies to build confidence, resilience, and achieve peak performance. Now, normally there'd be an image here, and it would come from Nano Banana, but maybe because I was paying attention to you guys, I didn't put my fingerprint down fast enough. All right, sounds familiar. So you're going to see the same spread, right? The same, but what you'll see is all the content's different because it analyzed more than 65 videos, right, from other people. So we see all these, right? We see a breakdown of the course, what you'll learn, module one, module two, module three, module four. And like that's the default, but we could easily make the default 6 modules, 8 modules. Here's the full curriculum, right? That's that one. Who's this course for? How is this different? Right? How long do you have access to it? What if it's not for me? Do I need prior experience? All right. Now let's take a look at the third one. If it's done. Yep. It's asking me about whether, like, it's just wanting to get my permission on everything. That's crazy. Very interesting. This is proven a theory. This is the best example of three different agents all following the very same instructions and how different they are. And, like humans are different, so AIs are different too. Okay, let me get back to this. All right, let's check in. We just did, right? So let's continue with where we're going, right? Over 3 days, you've seen what happens when AI begins to know you, right? And I've shown you like how it can get to a level where it's not only like just answering questions, right? Like I hope you noticed that I didn't move anything. I didn't touch anything. I just told it and web pages happened. Do you understand like how many things had to happen and how many things if you were doing it and you were doing it with regular AI, what you'd have to do? You'd have to go to YouTube. You'd have to grab those videos. You'd have to convert them. Then you'd have to download them. Then you'd have to actually load them in one by one into ChatGPT. All 65 of the videos, right? Then after you downloaded all those into the ChatGPT, you'd have to ask it to make a course. Right? Then after it made the course, then you'd have to ask it, can you write a creative brief for that course? Then you got to take that creative brief and then you got to take it somewhere, right? You got to open up another chat. You got to like have it write copy and it's not going to be easy for it to write really good copy. So you're going to have to work with that for a while. Then after you've gotten that, you're going to have to take that copy out, right? Then you got to take it someplace else. You got to turn it into a website. Then you got to like take it someplace else and upload it. Do you realize that all of that happened? I'm not doing anything. I'm talking to you. I'm moving slides. I'm worried about like whether my slides are correct because I had to rebuild them all 30 minutes before this. And that's happening behind the scenes. With all I'm doing is pressing my finger when it needs my permission to use an API. So here's the good news, right? Day one, you started teaching your AI about who you are. Right? On day two, you actually pointed it to your business and it found a leak, your specific leak. You saw it surface and call me to task on my blind spot. It didn't even wait for me to ask. It's like, hey, schefren, you teach all these other businesses to grow. Why are you stunted? Why are you impotent? Why are you small? That's what it felt like when it asked me that. But I wasn't broken and you're not broken, right? I don't want you to ever think that I'm special, that, this works for me, it's not going to work for you. I'm not the exception. I've tried a shitload of things and things didn't work. It's never been you, right? But like, there's never been something that can take a look from the outside and has no problem telling you what it sees because it doesn't need anything from you. It doesn't need you to like it. It doesn't care whether you like it. It's going to be gone in 30 minutes from now anyway. You were blocked. I'm blocked. Anyone that's not achieving what they want is blocked. And this is the worst time in history to be blocked because this is the best time in history, this time of transformation where we're going from one technology to another, where you have the opportunity to make the most amount of money and really secure the lifestyle that you want going forward. So I was blocked, and I believe that many of you are blocked. And what you really need is a mirror that reflects back to you the patterns that you have with no agenda, no care whether you're ready to hear it or not, but gives it to you in a way where there's no shame. It's just, this is how it is. I'm not ashamed of what I just showed you. And what you actually don't need is another course. You need a mirror. You need a mirror that reflects back to you the patterns that you have that are holding you back. And what I'm saying is that that's what did it for me. It's what will do it for you. It holds up your own words and says, "Is this true?" And it doesn't yell like I'm yelling right now, and it doesn't coach, it just sees you. Now, if what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, genuinely, I got no issue with you, right? If I'm if what I'm saying connects though, right? Well, for those that like if this isn't resonated, you're here. I really hope you got 3 days of real great content. I hope it was useful for you. But for those of you that get it, right? If you feel like what I'm showing, if you there's recognition in any of my answers that like maybe there's some of your answers, or maybe you have something similar, or maybe yours is different, but you got something, right? I want to like show you a little bit more and tell you a little bit more. Because I also want to tell you one other thing, right? I've gone long. I've jumped around. I went on day one, like, I don't know, 45 minutes long. And I know in today's world where people got lots of demands on their attention, I'm asking right now for a lot of it. But I want to say that the fact that you're here, you're still here, right? You're willing to listen to this crazy nut go rant about AI, right? Night three, I don't know how many hours we've put in so far, in the 3 days, but it tells me something about you and it should tell you something about you. The people that weren't serious, they left after day one. There's a reason why I didn't do as many prompts on day one. I wanted to like, if you're not interested in understanding the bigger story, I'm not interested in talking to you. So if you came to day two, it means that you're my kind of people. And if you're here now, right, you know why. Every yes, every time you engaged with me tonight, that was you. And by being here, you showed me who you are. And that's why I want you to understand everything that I'm trying to share with you. So I want you to join me. I want my AI to be your AI. I want you to have the benefit that I've had. And the question is like, are you going to resolve that one blind spot it told you about and then get real and go deep and really be the person that you've always wanted to be and get rid of the person that you wound up being? And I'm not saying any judgment about who you've been or where you are. I'm telling you that like I had a good life. I've gotten all those testimonials. I've like done all that and I wasn't happy with where I was or my performance or what I was doing or what I was capable of. Okay. So it says, before we get into this, I want to show you something. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I've already shown you these. All right. See, that's the prompt. Let's just see that. Did we look at the last one? No, this last one still wants my approval. See all the places it's going, though? This is why. Ah, all right. So it's also it was rate limited by YouTube. Look at what's going on here. So because the other two jumped out and got all of it, this one got rate limited by YouTube. Let me tell it something though. So hopefully you guys can see it. I'm gonna go in here a little bit bigger. I'll make it a little bit bigger, right? I don't know why you didn't realize it, but you do know that you have a CLI tool to Express VPN, and you could just change the IP address, and then you can go back to YouTube and get what it is you really want. Make sure that goes there. All right. Just watching what it's doing. All right. Now, someone says it's safe to use a terminal. Yeah, it's totally safe to use the terminal, but did you also hear what I've been saying, right? That anytime, any key, any API, anything that is proprietary or could be used to damage me or take money or do something, I got to put my finger on my, fingerprint thing here on my Mac to give it permission, right? So I've given you the links. The people that I chose, right? Just call like text, not text, email mail at Strategic Profits, those three people, because we'll get you the web pages and the course and all that, right? You should definitely have that. Did the work. So this is just a small taste of what like a system can do for you in your voice, in your niche, every time, whether it's a course, whether it's a anything. So here's the frame that I want you to hold on to while I walk you through this. Okay? Because it's not like you buy tonight and start. You already started. You started 3 nights ago. Your AI has been already building context on you. The calibration is underway. You've already done 15% of phase one. Tonight, you're not deciding whether to begin. Tonight, you're deciding whether to finish. So I'm going to walk you through this using the context compound because the 3 tiers map directly to the 5 levels that I walked you through. And the wall, right? That wall between like it knowing everything about you and you getting what you want, that wall disappears at tier 3. So here's what I built. The first level is Zenith Mind OS. So I want to tell you a little bit about Zenith Mind OS. And if you're someone who's done Zenith Mind OS, if you were on anything where I did it live, the Q&As, the lessons, then you're already grandfathered. You get this. This. What's new and different about this is a bunch more skills that actually do this, right? And it's all code based and it's all CLI based. So now there's no putting in prompts, pulling out prompts. You just get the answers. You answer the questions and then it takes it from there. No more loading in and out prompts, no more any of that. But for those of you that don't know what Zenith Mind is, let me tell you a little bit about what I built. See? All right, so I want to just explain that like I I've put thousands of people through Zenith Mind OS. It is the most powerful, it's the most successful and best program I've ever created in my entire life. We get testimonials on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Every single day that people are in the program, they're sending me testimonials. And it's 4 phases, as you can see here. Module 1, AI learns you. Module 2, AI challenges you. Module 3, AI expands you. Module 4, AI executes with you. Now, the very first time I launched it, right, I took, I think, 6 different cohorts through it. Some had as many as like 1,500 people. Some had a lot less. Um, the first time I went through it, like everything I was doing was for the AI to know everything about you and be able to help you. But then all the next, the next 5 cohorts, I was just making the program better to do more. So I told you, well, I explained a little bit about the omniscient observer. That comes after the mirror, right? And that was the one that kind of like really pointed out a lot of the mistakes I'm making and how I'm looking at things wrong. So that was like the first group of people. That's all they got. But then what I did is I created what's called the 30-day transformation orchestrator. And what that does is that reviews everything that was revealed in the mirror and the omniscient observer. It goes through all your issues. It figures out which form of psychology is actually best for that issue. And guess what? We have, I think it's 18 different schools of psychology, each as a mega prompt, so that you can actually work on it yourself and resolve that issue. That's in the AI challenges you section, right? So whether you're a fan of Freud, cognitive behavioral therapy, Jungian psychology, Adlerian psychology, they're all there. AI expands you, right? So all of these were part of the original Universal Expander, Mentor Council, Quantum Leverage Codex, Strength Development Pipeline, right? But what I added to this recently, or not that recently, but like one of the times, was what I called the proximity architect. And the proximity architect, right, takes this new you and then finds all the places around you where this new you would be like with other people like that. This is so powerful because it gives you the places where you can be the person you wanted to be, the person that you have all the seeds to be, and it won't feel out of place. It won't feel weird. In fact, you'll be fitting in. And these skills are transferable too in this sense. The proximity architect, right? It's about finding all the places for the new you. Well, I recently used the proximity architect to find every AI group around me. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm a little into AI right now. And I could go on, right? And I don't want to make this all just like detail after detail. What you should know is that this is an insanely powerful program that we've had thousands upon thousands of people go through, and they rave about it. And actually, I'll show you a video about it in a second, but let me get rid of this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you the video right now, and here's why. I got to run to the bathroom really quick, and I think that that's probably the best thing to do, is actually just take the video from the end, put it here, and hopefully this plays the video. So let me see if it does. And as soon as the video plays, if you hear sound and you see the image, say sound and image so I know that I can run real quick.
Zenith OS has literally rewired my brain. It's really that powerful.
So far, it has saved a potential $6 million deal that was already on the scrap heap, and it revived it.
I've shown up daily to create and speak, completing 42 children's stories and publishing 42 podcast episodes.
I'm 68 years old. I've got some health challenges. I finally, after months of thinking about it, published my first blog. It's already set up to go, my sixth. One each week.
I was diluting my voice.
I spent more than $100,000 over the last 20 years on personal growth and business strategies.
I lost belief in myself. I didn't believe that what I wanted was possible anymore.
I've taken other courses. I've done lots of programs.
And I kept disappointing myself in my action. I started to think that maybe I just don't have what it takes.
But I've got this cognitive dissonance that even I can't get myself past.
Now I use my daily Alter GPT every morning. It's the system I built because of Zenith. It's my mindset mirror. It's my strategy compass. It's my CEO ritual.
What I got was the biggest truth bomb I could ever expect.
Little did I know that when I took Zenith Mind, I would discover that exactly what I was doing was what was holding me back from success.
But this right here has taken me where those other places never reached. Most programs have you admire the guru. This one has you believe in yourself.
That was a breakthrough which happened during the Omniscient Observer. Even just 2 weeks in, I feel more alive, more grounded, more awake, more brave. And I'm really moving through the day differently.
But what I did have on day 3, question 8, was a breakthrough. And I'm telling all my friends about it. Because if I can learn this much about myself in 50 questions, I can't imagine what I'll know after 30 days.
I'm getting more done, and I feel more aligned with zero burnout.
Rich's program and what he's put together has just held up the mirror and has shattered my sense of what I really need to be doing and what's really getting in my way.
But I just feel so energized and excited. I believe in a future that I thought was never going to happen for me. And that's all because of Zenith Mind.
And the ripple effect for me was my girlfriend Janelle, who didn't even take this program, had a big transformation because I've changed.
Can't wait to see what's next because I really feel like my upgraded version of me is already knocking at my door.
You've been able to unlock something through your prompts that I couldn't unlock myself. And it has changed everything for me. That veil, that resistance disappeared. So thank you.
All right, so we're back. Thank you for giving me that. Oh my God. Basically, when I started, the pressure was there. So thank you. All right. So let me kind of just state it in a more clear way. Zenith Mind OS, it has now been transferred to Claude, and it's been transferred to, well, let me put it this way. It's been transferred to a system that you can use with anything, right? But it's primarily designed for Anthropic's Claude, but it could be used with Gemini CLI. It could be used with Codex as well. So it can be used on any coding CLI tool. And here's the foundation, right? Zenith Mind OS gives you levels 1 and 2 of the context compound, right? It totally gets you, right? Those 4 phases. And, right, it not only knows you, but it knows how you impact the business, right? And you can execute with it. And people who have gone through Zenith OS, and there's a lot of them, are very happy. Like, it's been game changing. This was my life last year. On one day, on February 27th last year is when I first released Zenith Mind OS. So I've had a year with it, and it's taken me to this, right? So your AI learned you completely, but let me just be frank, right? Let me be real. The wall is still there. Levels 4 and 5, right? The ability to call you out and the ability to produce for you are not included. You'll have a powerful AI that knows you deeply. But the gap between knowing, calling you out, and producing, well, that's in level 4 and 5. So Zenith Mind OS is the foundation. Your AI learns who you are, your patterns, your psychology, how you see the world. That's everything in level 1 and 2, and it's powerful and it's real, and it's made a huge difference in my life. So just because I'm going to share other versions that have more, don't diminish what this is. This is insanely powerful. This was all that I had to offer for the longest time, and this is what caused me to have all the growth that I've had. But let's say that you want more, right? And so that's $997, full pay, no payment plans. Next, Zenith Mind Plus. That is $1,497. And this adds level 3, capability, right? This is the articulation layer, right? So knowing you is not the same as being able to articulate you. So plus is the articulation layer. So by the time you finish Zenith Mind OS and you do plus, right, your AI knows you. Knows your psych. Well, just first, let's go with OS, right? It knows you. It knows your psychology, knows your patterns, knows how you see the world. But knowing you is not the same as being able to articulate you. And if your AI can't articulate what makes you the only choice, not a better choice, the only choice for the people that you're going after, then you've got a really smart mirror, but you don't necessarily have it be, that mirror isn't the business tool that would be most desirable for you. Are you following me? So the articulation layer adds 4 things. It adds unique genius discovery, where your AI maps out what makes you irreplaceable, not your credentials, not your story. Those are like in Zenith Mind OS, but the specific intersection of how you see the world, what you've done, what you can't not notice that everyone else misses. We all have certain things like that. The output of that, right, is positioning so precise that no competitor can replicate it because no competitor is you. There's positioning architecture built from your imprint, not from templates. Most positioning advice is competitive analysis that's dressed up as an insight because it doesn't know you. This is different because your AI has accumulated everything about how you think, your edge cases, your blind spots, the through line in your work that you've never articulated. So its positioning built from that data is an entirely different animal. Your audience intelligence, who specifically needs you, not your category, but you, and what they need to hear from you specifically to move. Not demographics, not personas, the exact match between your unique genius and the people out there already looking for it. Belief excavation. The specific beliefs, listen to this, right? The specific beliefs that are keeping your audience stuck. Not you, right? Because this is now applied to business, and then reframes the work for someone with your communication style so that your objection handling is different from everyone else's because your voice is different and it has taken in what the AI knows about the beliefs of your prospects. So what I'm saying is, right, your AI at this point doesn't just know you. It can tell anyone who you are, and the way it tells people who you are is the best possible version. So basically, this is business if you're a professional. If you're a professional and you're not getting involved in building stuff, creating stuff, right, but you have a presence out in the world, then this is what you need. And so, as I said, this is $14.97. This is a split pay. You can pay it $750 tonight and then $750 in 30 days from now. And by the way, we also have financing. If you qualify for it, it's an outside financing company, no interest on any of these. So you could also go that route, but we're financing as well and making it easier for people so that your credit cards don't get locked up. So the wall is still there at plus. And just to remind you, right, the wall is the difference between generic and having something out in the world that is the end all be all, right? You have the knowledge layer, you have the capability level layer, but level 4 specification and level 5 implementation is where AI starts actually building and producing for you. So you're right up against the wall with plus, you're like on the edge. All right, I'm going to go past that. All right, there. So now there's Zenith Mind Elite, which is what I recommend, not only like because it's the best, but also what we're doing specifically for it. And I think this is interesting. Okay, so your OS knows you, plus articulates you, Elite builds for you. So if I've been unclear about anything, that should kind of clarify right there. OS knows you backwards and forwards, knows everything about you, will be able to tell you what's been holding you back and apply it to your business as well from the standpoint of like what we did last night, but so much deeper and so much more accurate and totally tailored to you. Plus, we'll take everything it knows about you and help you polish, right? Be the best you possible out there in the world. An Elite actually builds for you. So this is an this isn't aspirational. That's the operational difference between the tiers. And the reason that Elite builds for you is because levels 4 and level 5 are where the system shifts from self-knowledge into production, from insight into assets. The test isn't, does my AI understand me? The test is, can you hand your team something your AI produced and have them not know the difference? That's the bar. My team can't tell the difference. I can't tell the difference. This is like the brand DNA extraction, your origin story, your philosophy, your proof, your voice, not as style guides, but as living documents your AI uses and updates and as it produces anything. An email, a webinar, a sales argument, a manifesto, all in your voice at your level because the actual architecture of how you communicate has been extracted and codified. Once you felt Elite, Plus feels like you've left early because like this is like what you've dreamed about. So Elite is 2,497, right? You can finance it with an outside finance company through us, or you can pay $1,250 today and $1,250 in 30 days. But here's the difference. And this is incredibly important. For Elite, every dollar that you spend on Elite is credited towards my more expensive programs. I'll explain that. So it's not like you get this $24.97 credit and now you can buy $97 products. No. The $24.97 is applied to any of my higher ticket programs. And let me explain why. I believe with every fiber of my being that when you get a full taste of this system, you're going to want to do other things with me. Like this weekend, I have a group of entrepreneurs. They each paid $10,000 to spend the weekend with me here at my house, where I'm going to give them everything that's on my computer, all my skills, all my stuff. Right? And then I'm going to show them how to use it for the next 2 days. And people like Todd Brown are going to swing by, and Mike Filsaine are going to swing by, and Michael Masterson or Mark Ford is going to swing by, all the people that live in the neighborhood that are my friends. Maybe you'll want to do that after you got a taste of how powerful this is and know that like my system, the system I'm talking to you from, is totally within your access. And every penny that you pay for Elite is totally applied if you ever want to do that with me. That program is called Connect the Dots to Riches. But the important part also is to realize that this is like everything I've explained. This is not some future vision. This is my Monday. This is my Tuesday. This is what I use every single day. The wall is gone. If there's ever a chance, like I said, that you'd ever want to go to Connect the Dots or do some other programs that I have, like Force Multiplier, etc., this is a deposit towards any of those, which means every dollar is a credit. With OS and Plus, there's no, like, you're buying a program, and it's a damn good program, but there's no credit forward. And the reason being is the only people that I want to give a credit to are people that really taste the system, that really have an idea of how powerful it is. You deposit more to spend less, if that makes sense. The people that came here, that are coming here on Friday, right? They didn't get an option where there was a credit. They paid the full price. So you're not choosing between spending $14.97 and spending $24.97. You're choosing between spending $14.97 that disappears, right? You get all the benefits of it, but as far as like going forward, with us, it disappears. And versus depositing $24.97 that comes back to you. Plus gets the full execution layer, plus eliminating the wall. That $1,000 difference between Plus and Elite, it actually brings you back more money than it costs you. So you're not spending more, you're depositing more. You're choosing between spend and deposit. Tonight only, right? For those that decide that they are not going to let anything stand in their way, they want this future for themselves. If you take Elite, I'm going to package up that skill that you saw tonight, right? The one that goes to YouTube, takes everything down, makes a course, whether that course is something you want to sell or it's a course for you, right? Like I explained, and then does all the things. Anyone that buys within the next 24 hours, they're going to get that. I got to package it up, so it's going to take me a couple days, but you're going to get that. You're also going to get this. Now, this is something that I gave to Zenith Mind buyers when we did a reunion. You know, that's how successful this program has been. That's how impactful this program has been. I get constant requests from people who've gone through the program. Hey, can you do a reunion? I'd love to see all the other people that went through this and where they're at. So I've done a bunch of reunions. And for one of the reunions, I did something really special. What I did was I spent a ridiculous amount of time going through all the transformation material that I went through. And for those that know my story, I had a midlife crisis when I was 40. And then I took 5 years off from online, traveled the world, spent a lot of time with my family, did transformation course after transformation course. And so I know a little bit about transformation, especially because I've read every single book that the whole industry is based on. So if you join within the next 24 hours, right, you get an entire transformation system. This is 12 super mega prompts. Now, just to give you a sense, like when I talk about prompts, I don't think, if you've never worked with me, you don't know what I'm talking about. We're talking about prompts that are 11 pages long because they have to be. Not because I'm verbose and I want to just tell AI a lot of stuff, because the recursion and everything that needs to happen in order for AI to get you the answers that you want, that's what's required. So it's a complete transformation system based on the work of Werner Erhard, based on the work of Martin Heidegger, based on the work of Alfred Adler, based on the work of all the great philosophers of all time in existential therapy and ontological coaching. And there's 4 tiers of the transformation: breakthrough, dissolve the deepest patterns that exist in your life. Tier 2, how to transform your state in 60 seconds. Tier 3, build sustained transformation. And then navigate major transition from power. There's a big difference between transformation and self-help. And just to give you a sense of what that looks like, let me just do this real quick. Where'd it go? Here. This is what sits in this, right? If I were to show you the framework guide, I'll just show you what that looks like here. Can I get it in front? Let's see. If I can. Let's see. There we go. So this is an explanation of the entire transformation ecosystem that I made. Here's how it works. Cover up paradox, standing impossibility, survival machine, interrupt. For anyone who's done Landmark, you're already probably recognizing some of these terms. Anxiety to wonder shift, somatic circuit breaker, 6 ontological moods, daily practice, advanced. So you get this completely free if you order it within the next 24 hours. Insanely powerful. That's all I can say is insanely powerful. This is something I packaged for all the customers that have participated in the best program I ever made. I wanted to take it even further. So it's 12 mega prompts. Each mega prompt comes with a full, complete companion guide. It is the most comprehensive, forget about AI transformation. It's the most comprehensive transformation toolkit ever built. And it's all in AI so that it can be done with you easily. You have very little work to do. You just got to press enter and follow what it's telling you to do. Most people spend years trying to get there. Transformation is different than self-help. Self-help is about trying to do better. Transformation is you change as a person. You see the world differently. The options in front of you are different. Imagine your AI knowing your psychology so deeply it catches your patterns before they catch you. The anxiety hijacking every big moment, that'll be gone if you go through this transformation. these 12 steps, right? The doom loop swallowing weeks interrupted, the energy spent managing yourself, finally free. You didn't find magic, right? I want to share this other comment that someone who you saw in some of the videos, the video from last night, the video from tonight, all right? Laura Chennington went through Zenith Mind, and after one of her first deep sessions with her calibrated AI, she posted this to the Facebook group that's part of Zenith Mind. Because AI told her when she reacted like, oh my God, this is magical, AI responded back, you didn't find magic. You found yourself without the noise. Then she said, yesterday I closed nearly $20,000 worth of deals with the identity and frequency that Zenith Mind upgraded me to operate out. That's not a testimonial I wrote. That's what she posted. She didn't find a new strategy. She found herself. She found herself without the noise that's been running interference for years. I found myself without the noise that had been running interference for years. I want you to find yourself without the noise that's been running interference between you and the life that you want, the goals that you want, the business that you want. I want that noise that's been running interference to disappear. And that's what this full system produces. Not just a name pattern, but an actual change in your operating state. If all you did was name your core personal constraint before it cost you another year of your life, this one thing that is currently standing in your way that you might not even know the name of, but if it could tell you what that one core personal constraint was, and you were able to get rid of it completely, would that be worth the cost of any of these programs? Yes or no? Exactly. And if all it did was build your expertise into proprietary frameworks, would that be worth it? Thank you for participating, man. If all it did was produce business assets in your voice so good that you couldn't recognize if you did it or they did it, and your team couldn't tell the difference, and therefore the public couldn't tell the difference, would that be worth it? And if every dollar came back to you as a credit, so the money deposits itself, would that be worth it? The way I see it, you got four options tonight. You can do it yourself. You can try. You can figure out the architecture, build the calibration, connect the levels. Like I said, I've watched people try to do this. It doesn't go well. They might get some answers. I'm not saying that you won't get answers. I'm saying that it'll be a night and day difference to something that has self-improved. Thousands upon thousands of people have gone through it, have given feedback. We've redone it. We've created something better. It's so different, right? Option two, Zenith Mind OS, an insanely powerful program that we sold for as much as $1,500. It's $997, and this is the new and improved version that actually runs faster, better, more accurate in every which way. Option two, or that's option two. Option three, Zenith Mind Plus, right? Totally knows you and is able to articulate you in any which way, which, like, as I said, the easiest way to think about it is if you're a professional, you're never building websites, you're never building and creating products or anything like that. You're an accountant who works at an accounting firm. You're a lawyer that works at a law firm. You're not building out their business, right? But you want to come off as good as possible. Zenith Mind Plus is for you. And option four, Zenith Mind Elite. Now, let me also tell you that as I said yesterday, right, that the first time I ever do anything, it's a beta. Well, Zenith Mind OS is no beta. We've been there, done that. Like, it's the best program I've ever created. The amount of testimonials are insane. Whoops. Yep. So that's not a beta. But for Plus and for Elite, there will be calls with me. I can't tell you how many. It will really depend on like the feedback that we get. But I can tell you that I'm not interested in getting on a call with anybody until they've at least gone through Zenith Mind OS. I am not interested in answering questions to people who have not yet learned about themselves. Because everything else is just like mental masturbation until you know that. So I'm going to do Q&A calls. I'm going to work with the groups that do Plus and Elite. We'll figure out the schedule and when. But it'll have to be after you've gone through Zenith Mind OS. Now, you can go through Zenith Mind OS insanely fast. So it's not like this has to be way out in the future. But I just wanted to kind of clarify that. It's not even said on any of the slides because this is how I operate. And so that's what I want to do. All right. So here are your options as far as like strategic profits goes. I think you can finance any of these as well. But OS full pay, that's your only option as far as us charging you. Plus, you can split it into 2 payments. Elite, you could split it into 2 payments. And as I said, right, the Elite is full credit going forward. I haven't put a link. I didn't even put a link in any of my slides, right? Because I was panicked and I was rebuilding them a half an hour before. But the links are in the chat. Here it is. It's kind of a long one. We should have probably created a bit.ly for it. It's funny, I created bit.lys for the things that I'm showing you. Anyway, right? So it is. I'm somewhat blind. All right. It is sp.strategicprofits.com/zenithmind-os. I'll probably type it out. Now, there are no guarantees, which is very different than what I've done in the past. But I want to explain why. Maybe that'll turn you off. For some people, you'll get it, and you'll actually know that that's why you want something like this. Zenith Mind OS, thousands of people have been through the system. And like I said, the only refund requests we've gotten are people that were either offended by the God prompt or they never started the program. And why? Because if you use it, it works. Thousands of people have testified to that. So the only way it doesn't work is if you don't use it. And I can't guarantee that someone's going to use it, nor is it my responsibility that you use it. So I'm not going to pretend I can, and nor am I going to say that you will, because I don't know you. And what I can tell you is that this is not a course that you watch and you put on the shelf. It's not a course that you buy and you put off to the side and wait till you do it later. It's a system that gets built by you answering questions that becomes more and more vital to everything that you have in your life as it knows more about you and is capable of doing more. The building is what makes it work. It's your commitment. So you either are committed to getting these results. I'm not asking for a big one, right? Like answering 25 multiple choice questions is not a lot. But you got to answer them honestly. You got to really get real. And if you're not going to do that, if you're not committed to actually being really honest, putting in the time, this is not a button. If you it will create a button for you after you've done the work, right? But this is not a button. I'm not sending you a button. You press a button and then it's all of a sudden going to do all these wonderful things. It will do all these wonderful things if you put in the time. And that's not me being difficult. That's maybe for some people, it's the first time they've ever heard of the truth on a webinar. I'm not interested in you buying because I have a guarantee so that you don't ever buy, you never use the program. If you're not clear that you're going to use the program, then don't buy. So, woof. All right. Should we answer some questions? Should I call it a night? I'm sure there are, you know what? If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to look. It's 10:07, so I'll scroll back up to 10:07. I want to just kind of share a little bit more with you. Only take like about 5 minutes, and then I'll get to your questions. 98%, if not 99%, of your competitors don't know any of what I've just shared. Not the context compound, not the 5 levels, not the calibration, not the architecture. Most of them are using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini as a glorified search engine, most likely maybe as a little bit more of an advanced tool, but that's about it. The window for AI to give you this advantage is closing. If you would have asked me 3 months ago, I would have said like it's probably 2 to 3 years. You ask me now, I feel like it's 6 to 12 months, but I tell people it's 12 to 18 months or 24 months just so I don't look like an idiot. The buy page is broken. Holy crap, is it really? Let me see. No, I see it. Here it is, spstrategic.com, Zenith Mind OS. I clicked on the link in the chat, and there it is. So anyway, the window is shortening and shortening. Anyone who's paid attention to AI knows this. The tools themselves are becoming commodities. Like my system works the same, whether you use Gemini, whether you use Grok, whether you use Claude, whether you use OpenAI's ChatGPT. The system, like the AIs are all great. So they're all like now it makes no difference. They are a commodity. So the only competitive advantage is what can't be copied. And what can't be copied is you. But then how do you get that across? You need an AI that knows you and knows you that deeply. I'm not answering anyone's question yet, Daniel or David. So you can put it in all caps or do whatever you want, but I'm actually talking here, sharing my slides. I said I'm going to go back to 10:07. I've seen 4 major opportunities in my life since I've been online. The first time was the manifesto. And after I wrote the manifesto, what really kind of started lead magnets, right? Brought me back $3.5 million in 2 months, brought me over $10 million within the first 2 years. And what did I do after I released that and I saw the results? I wrote another 7 reports. And what else did I do? I told my clients, write a report and do it this way. Who listened to me? Mike Filsaime, Death of Internet Marketing, made millions of dollars. Alex Jeffries, Guru's Nightmare, made millions of dollars. Onyx Singal, Circle of Profit, made millions of dollars. Next, VSL. John Benson showed me the VSL. I brought it to Weiss. I brought it to Agora. Agora grew by $1 billion that year. The automated webinar, I invented it. I gave it to Kern. I gave it to Brunson. I gave it to Filsaime. Filsaime created Webinar Jam from it. At this time, and this is the first time that I'm sharing it publicly, this is the biggest opportunity for profit that entrepreneurs will ever have. And the reason I'm sharing this one as opposed to all the other ones, which I just kept with my private clients, is because I believe this is the last time that it will exist. And I know that's a really strong statement. And if I had more time with you, which I will during the Q&As, I'll explain what I mean by that. But this time is your time to make the biggest difference and make the most amount of money and secure your future. If you've seen me change over the last couple months of how many new programs I'm releasing and what I'm doing, then you know that I'm not just talking about this. I am actually eating my own dog food and I'm doing it. I'm not trying to manufacture scarcity, right? The cart's going to be open for 10 days. And the people who build their imprint, In the next 10 days, we'll have a 12-month head start on everyone else who waits. The head start compounds. I want you to understand that. You never catch up. You never catch up. It can't learn everything about you overnight and process it. It takes time. You're going to be in a place in 10 days from now that's insanely far ahead of where other people are. But you're not going to be where people who started 100 days ago, because it compounds. It learns more and more new distinctions about you. Every session, every time you're interacting, the architecture gets sharper. It knows more. It can do more. So a year from now, where are you going to be? What is your future look like? Because a year from now, you'll either have an AI that knows everything about you, your psychology, your business, your voice, your blind spots, and produces from that knowledge for you every single day, or you'll still be typing in like to a blank ChatGPT or Claude, re-explaining yourself, wondering what the hell just happened? Where did these industries go? What am I supposed to do now? You don't have to decide your whole future tonight, but if you're paying attention to what I'm saying, you've got a very limited time to figure out your future. Some of you will have that full imprint built. The rest of you will have a starter, which is real, right? You know, you got your 15% of phase one by attending these 3 days. And that's real. And you should feel like if you're not going forward with me, don't depreciate what you got, because that's better than most people have. And you can do stuff with it. And I want you to value it. Neither is wrong. Neither choice is wrong. You got to decide which one you are. Now I'm going to answer questions, David. Did I put it in all caps? I'm going to answer questions now, David. Oh, look, it finally finished, the one that was asking my permission. This was built from 142 real expert videos, 6 modules, 21 lessons. Okay, yeah, but it didn't write the sales copy. Go ahead and write the sales copy, because we're going to have to deliver this. All right. Now let me stop the share. Whew. Wow. Okay. Let me pull up a chair so I can answer some questions. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That was intense. Huh. I feel like I lost like 2 or 3 pounds. Oh my God. All right, let me just grab my chair. Oh, geez, that's a little bit close. Okay, there. I don't need people like looking at every little wrinkle I have around my face. There's a lot of them. I can assure you that there's no Botox here. There's probably a big need for it, but yeah. Oh well. Look at that. Look at that deep crevice. Let me go back to 10:07, because that's when I said like I will go back to 10:07. So if there are questions. It was a bit frustrating that as a previous Zenith, people can get a clear answer tonight of what the cost will be for us. I'm sorry, Charmaine. I will figure that out. Just know whether you want it or not. And this way you're not making an impulse decision. But understand, Charmaine, that we want to make sure that we treat you right. Understand that we want to make sure that we take into consideration that you're a customer of ours, and we want to make sure that we do it right. And my team hasn't had enough time with me to make sure it's right, so we got to talk it out. Yeah, I want questions about the program, but understand that it's a beta. So we've already created a bunch of the skills and stuff like that, but I will be creating more. And anyone that's ever been in a beta program of mine will tell you that I go above and beyond. I go way above and beyond, because I'm not just building it for you. I'm building it for everyone that comes behind you. And so I'm very appreciative of the people that are in my beta, because I want to make sure that you get whatever it is you want, because you're the model, you're the avatar for everyone else that follows. So I build the program around you. If you want to know why Zenith Mind OS is so great, then you need to thank me a little bit, but more so thank all the original buyers, because it was all those original buyers that pushed me and said what they wanted and told me what they liked, what they didn't like, and what needed to change. Yeah, that's the other thing, Charmaine. Nicole answered it. We raised the price, as it was going on. So people paid different prices. So we have to put that into account. Then it's also about which program do you want to go into, So there's just a lot of factors. The team needs to talk to me. And it also is dependent on you. All right. Is this targeting at entrepreneurs any value for folks working 9 to 5? This is totally valuable for people working 9 to 5. That's why I made Plus. I made Plus because that's the extent of Plus is elite for someone that doesn't have their own business. Because you do need to put your best face forward. You do need you want everything that's known about you to be articulated in the best way. That's how you get people to really want to work with you, right? Or get to know you, or whatever usage you're using it for. But that's like the top of the line for someone who has like a 9 to 5 would be Plus. What Claude skills and your skills have had the most impact in your business? I would say most likely, it all depends on like what I've been busy doing. I would say at different times, different things, right? But I have what's called the Webinar Arena, which creates webinars for me, does it better than I could ever do. In fact, I ran the Webinar Arena the other night. Let me show you a picture. Hold on. Okay, what you see here on the screen, on the left, you see Jay Abraham, Daniel Lopez, who works for Jay, right? There's me with my head down. Here is a transcript of what's being said as we're actually working, right? Here is Claude watching what we're talking about, because Claude is redoing Jay's presentation for him and it needs feedback. So look at what Claude is saying, right? And since Jay and Daniel are on the phone now on Zoom, what's the best way for me to walk them through all the work that you did? Should I show them these extractions? I don't think, right? So in other words, my Claude is listening in on the conversation so that Jay can tell my Claude how to fix the presentation the Webinar Arena that it ran for him. I mean, literally, guys, I could show you stuff like that, like stuff I do for my friends and things like that, all day long these days, right? That's how powerful this system is. Jay's like a dad to me. I wouldn't waste his time if this wasn't everything that I'm saying it is. If you already bought Force Multiplier, you do not need this. All right? If you have Force Multiplier has Force Multiplier. If you're the business owner in Force Multiplier, you do not need this. This Force Multiplier has all this. All right? So you don't need it. That's weird. Does anyone know why Mitch Russo is getting that weird? I'm a couple minutes behind. So that's why. Sorry, guys. Okay, yeah. If you bought Force Multiplier last week, you do not need this. Okay? Everything that is here is in that. Don't so. And said I really hope, guys, that we fixed the link. I see the page right in my credit and I get the error message. It doesn't give permission to accept the credit card. All right. Can someone on my team text me and just let me know whether I should do something about it? Like Nicole, if you can text me, or I'm in the thread, Nicole, Ashley, and Harry. I asked can people pay or can they not right now? Because I'm at 10:10, so I'm behind, Nicole. I'm 15 minutes behind in the chat. The 2-pay option is not working. Okay. I'm just waiting for the text to come in. I apologize, everyone. Checking all links. All right. They're working on it. I'm still going through the chat. So let me just see what Paul Cohen said. Wouldn't worry about Terminal and Obsidian too much. It's really easy to do. We actually have a skill that does that. That's my preferred way to work. But like, I have lots of friends that prefer terminal. But like, it's a personal preference. Like Paul Cohen said. Okay, David Domingo said, I'm not answering your question. What's the difference of your app to OpenClaw? It's night and day difference. OpenClaw is not designed to know you. OpenClaw is designed to do things for you. OpenClaw is wide open and a security risk. OpenClaw can be hijacked in less than 2 minutes. My friend, a former client that's a friend of mine, we both have known a lot of shady people in our past. And we've talked about, like, right now is the single best time to be a scammer, because like anyone that has OpenClaw, I could get into your system and I could steal your cookies. Do you think, like, that's the reason I have to use my fingerprint to open up APIs? I am not going to download something from the internet and potentially have someone be able to get into my bank accounts. OpenClaw is a security nightmare. Even if it's on a virtual machine, if you give it access to your emails, you're like, there you go. So that's the difference. Okay. So hopefully, David, that answered your question. Is everything we buy the prompts? Are there interactions between us and AI without any interference with not process operating on your server? Nothing's on my servers. Nothing is on my servers. I never see anything that you do. Nothing. I was going to build my own AI and I was going to do all that kind of stuff, but that's silly. Because nothing I build is going to be better than what OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, and Google is doing. So my system sits on top of their systems, but my system, the way it works is you can use any system and everything about you stays mobile, portable, can be used anywhere, on any terminal, on anything. There's not anything like that. Like if you use MindPal, your stuff is in MindPal. You can't just take it and move it someplace else. If you use Lindy, you can't just take it and move it someplace else. If you use any of the tools that everyone talked about for months, I didn't, but everyone talked about for the last 6 months, your stuff is stuck in there and you can't move it, nor can you use another tool with it. That's not this. This is totally movable to anything, anywhere, anytime, for any reason. In fact, sometimes I'm working all three at the same time. Cool. All right. Great. Definitely program. Been taking care of my 90-year-old mom. Hopefully able to get it sooner than later. I'll definitely be looking at mattress. Cool. Well, best of luck, Frank. Why only 10 days? Well, 10 days for this offer. I want people to get through this as quickly as possible because I think that I want you to have the advantage that I have, and I want you to seize it. David, I totally disagree. I totally disagree with you. You don't know what mine is at all. You can have as many thoughts as you want, David, but unless you've gone through my system, used my system, you have no clue. You can watch all the videos about OpenClaw. You don't know what my system does. You saw a little piece of it. Maya, it's because at one point in time, Lisa used your system. Please advise some of the plugins you use for Obsidian. Sure. Let's go to my main Obsidian here. Hold on. Let me find it. Quad Code MCP. I don't think you can get that, though, in the plugin, the global plugin. You got to, like, install it. Full calendar. Local REST API. MCP tools. Open in terminal. Those are the ones that I have on. Those are the ones that I use. Hopefully that answers whoever wanted James's question about what plugins I use. David said he has a company who specializes in photography and videography. Do you think your app can help me? Can it help you market? Yes. Can it help you in like your photographs and your video? I think there are better tools out there than I'm just being totally honest. I am like right now, like one of the people that used to work for me, they're like the world's expert in avatars. I spoke to him this morning. Like he's building me out. He's going to build me out a better one, and I'm going to make that available to clients of mine as well. But like, if you need, like, I am not an expert on leveraging AI for video or for photography. So I'm not saying that that's what you're asking, but if you're asking that, I'm not the right person at all. If it's about knowing you, like getting the business right, being able to market your business, yes. But there's a difference between the two, and I think you understand what that difference is. Uh, David says he's got lots of wrinkles too, but he thinks he's younger. I'm 54. Uh, Soon to be 55 in like, I think 14 days. Uh, okay, Consuelo. I will definitely take you further studies within this year. I'm not ready yet as of now. Um, cool. Like, uh, Consuelo, totally fine, totally cool that it's not the right time for you. Just know that even if it's not the right time for you for this course, do as much as you can with AI. Like, don't be left behind. Like, the world is very quickly going to change. I think it's going to change a lot faster than people think. And so you were here. I hope you got value. You said you did, so that's great. But please do something with the value. All right. Yeah, and if you have like if you've been trying to buy and you can't, just mail at Strategic Profits and let them know so that this way we'll honor like, the 24 hours so that you get the transformation thing, you get the skill that built the websites and stuff like that. So Mitch, just email mail at Strategic Profits. Is Obsidian a core component of this? You don't need Obsidian. You could just use files on your desktop. I think Obsidian is it's open source, it's free. I think the fact that I went to Obsidian so early, even when I was just using regular AI, like the way like ChatGPT, Claude, like that, I think the reason I'm so far ahead of people is because of Obsidian. So I'm a huge fan of Obsidian. I loved its structure. I hated it at first. I was a Power Evernote user, but Evernote and Notion keep everything in the cloud and it's locked. It's very hard for AI to work with it well. And when it works with it well, you use an MCP, and then if it's down for any reason, you're screwed. Whereas, like, when you use Obsidian, you have access to all files at all times. And your AI has access to all files at all times. Brian says, is Elite appropriate for someone who doesn't yet have a business but wants to establish one? It is, Brian. Like, here's the thing. It is, the straightforward answer is yes, but let me just give a little bit of additional context too. It's not going to teach you about business. So I just want to be clear that what it's not. It can run a business. You can use it, and it will do all the things that I said it will do, and it will do all those things for you, and it will even help you figure out possibly what niche you should be in based on your psychology for sure. But it's not going to teach you about funnels. It's going to ask you which funnel you want to build, right? It's so like, understand that. But yes, it is my basic business course, if you want to call it that. What is included in the VIP program tomorrow? I'm going to figure that out tonight, but I'm all ears for those of you who bought VIP and want to just have some influence on my decision. I'm reviewing the sales page that had VIP and reviewing all the comments and making sure that VIP is awesome. I will be answering lots of questions, showing you behind the scenes, showing you how all this works, and whatever else, whatever else I can show you. I'm a pretty open book. I think most people who know me would say that. I don't really hold anything back. I'm kind of bad at holding stuff back. Are Force Multiplier and Elite competing products? No. Force Multiplier is a much more advanced program. It has a lot more to it. So, if you have employees, if you manage virtual employees, if you have other people do stuff for you, this is like Force Multiplier is what you want because it's you plus a business. Whereas like Elite is you are the business, right? You're the primary. There are a lot of things that happen at Strategic Profits that have nothing to do with me. It's my company, and I'm responsible for all of it. But if you think that I'm capable of doing everything that my business does, then you think way too highly of me. Um, my team does a lot more than I do. I'm just the guy that gets the credit. All right. I'm just gonna say, don't have your barking and other super private stuff on the machine you use for AI. Just don't. Uh, okay. Let's see. No, you don't need to build a finger. You don't need to buy a finger scanner. But I will say this, like in my advanced programs, like if you ever want to come to my house, you have to have a Mac. And I might be offending some people right now, and I apologize if I am. But everything is 10 times easier on a Mac. And so if I have someone come to my house with a PC, I only have 2 days with people. I cannot risk that a person needs like crazy amounts of handholding, and everyone with a PC does. Because nothing is easy on a PC and everything is easy on a Mac. We bought everyone on my team a better Mac. And Tom, if you're listening right now, I am not going to allow you to have paid for your Mac. All right. I'm not yet gone the Obsidian route, but heck, even just storing the ZMOS chat in Google Docs means I can use those docs with any LLM. You can, right? But like the benefit of Obsidian is one, it's not Google Docs, it's not out there, it's on your system. The other is that it's in Markdown. It is insanely fast and easy for AI to consume Markdown. You can always download a single piece or whatever you want from Google Docs in Markdown, but that requires you to do something. You can send your AI to Google. You can get an MCP or an API connection to it, but then that can always get wonky, and it's not like loading it in when your system starts. It's better than nothing by far, but you'd be better off having everything that's in your Google Drive that you want to access on any consistent basis to have a folder either on your desktop, in your documents, somewhere that has all your files in Markdown, and then telling your AI that's where it is. In the new program, we show how to use Claude Code terminal code that you showed, and also Obsidian. Yes. Every program that I now have is moving to an Obsidian-based system that can be used with Claude, Gemini, or Codex. Do I host my own Obsidian Vault to my NAS? No, I have my Obsidian Vault just throughout all my computers. And then for the company, we have a separate vault, right? That is a GitHub. Then we have an MCP attached to that GitHub so that this way there's version control with the skills, the prompts, the agents, so that when my team uses them, if someone makes a mistake, deletes something or something, we can go back. No, the avatar expert is not Onyx Singal, although good guess. No, his name is Mars, and he does all the avatars for Agora because he met Agora through me, and he's so good he gets paid a royalty. So that should say a lot. Yeah. I don't want to go on that rant right now. All right. I agree with Terry Duncan. Please help. What did Terry say? I want to get in today. Rich just mentioned. All right. Thanks. Look at what Lisa said. Oh, no, Maya. Maya, was determined to get a Zenith Mind as an early adopter, and I made that happen. Best decision of my life. Went from deep depression to being that optimistic person I used to be back in the early 2000s. This is why I'm now thinking I need to make Elite happen, whatever it takes. Well, thanks, Maya. Thanks for saying that. This is the right time for me. The only time I am a dinosaur, a former analog baby boomer frozen in overwhelm. I will do the necessary to join within 10 days. Cool, Jorge. And you have my word that you are not too old for this. We've had people in their 80s in Zenith Mind OS, and they've done fine. And they've done it where it's their first time interacting with AI. And I love it. I love to be the person that turns people on to AI. And I love even more like showing people what's possible with AI, where it clicks for them and it all makes sense. That is one of my favorite things. For real. Because I remember when it happened for me and the goosebumps I got and the holy shit factor. And I love to be the guy that gives that to people because, like, it's so powerful. And it's not me, really. It's the AI, but it's like the architected AI. Um, yeah, the email for Strategic Profits, I'm typing it in right now. It's just mail at strategicprofits.com. Now that took me all the way to the end. All right. Okay. Vulnerable question about Elite. I often need human support to execute on doing things. Is there any of this perhaps in a community? Happy to help lead something here. I struggle to use time effectively and to execute. Too many priorities and things going on, plus little kids too. Though I often help clients with this, it's hard for me to execute unless I have people in my calendar. It's just hard to execute. Working with people is really energizing and I show up. I had this struggle with Zemos after a certain point and rabbit holed down various prompts for too long. I feel like I'm broken. I know that's not true, like you said. I see the AI can help me get through that noise. I worry that I might struggle to reach that place so that this no longer matters. I suspect others might have the same challenge. I'd love your perspective here on the journey to get through this hump on the way to the promised land. Let me think about this because I want to give you a real answer, Daniel. I'll tell you what changed for me. When I moved to a now you can do it with Cowork, although like Cowork is a weakened version of code. So I'm not as big of a fan of it. But I kind of got lost, Daniel, too, when I was like loading prompts in, taking output out. There's just so much stuff, right? But for me, what really changed things was like when all of a sudden I stopped moving prompts. I stopped getting output and I just like had it put where it needed to be. And I was able to tell it to do things and then see it getting done, like has been amazing. And one of the things I love to do, I did it last night even, like after I reviewed all the comments that were in the chat and like looked at like what people had to share, I then like had it build my first set of slides for tonight. Now, I messed it up because of PowerPoint, but that had nothing to do with AI. And so when I woke up in the morning, and I woke up early, I got up at 6. I've been sleeping like 4 hours a night for a couple weeks just because I'm so busy and because I'm so excited. Like I just wake up like excited. I wake up excited because I want to run down up to my office here and see what was created for me. So I don't know that that's going to be the answer for you, Daniel, but the answer for me was having a tool that was actually better and it was actually executing. And so what I felt like I have always been somewhat disabled by being an overthinker. Yeah, it's great for teaching. I know a lot. I've thought about a lot of things, maybe more than the average person, because I have no choice, because I am an overthinker. But the single best thing for an overthinker is a machine that executes because it leverages all my overthinking into execution. And so I haven't changed. I'm still have those flaws. But now I have a machine that actually does the executing for me. And because it does the executing for me, then all I have to do is get in front of the machine. Just like all I had to do was get on my elliptical for 5 minutes every day, and then I could decide whether I wanted to work out or not. All I have to do is get in front of my machine and talk to it for 2 or 3 minutes. And if I don't want to after that, I'm free to leave. But there's never been a time where it doesn't suck me in and get me working. Even when I don't want to do something, it will then be like, well, why don't we just brainstorm the title? But now when I brainstorm the title, it then creates the document and then it starts adding to the document. It's like, hey, do you want me to research this? Sure. Right. And now it started. So, but the other thing are the tools are that good now that if you spend too much time thinking, exploring, etc., think about having a tool that while you're doing that, it's actually doing the things that you needed to get done. You still have to guide it. You still have to give it stuff. It's not going to get it all done just perfect like that. But it is a total game changer. It's been a total game changer for me and a lot of the people I know. In fact, so Mike Filsaime, Todd Brown, a bunch of Russell Brunson, they've all told me, because it's the same for me. I haven't been this excited about working since I got online in the first place, right? 25 years ago, when I couldn't like sleep at night because I was just so excited about what I was learning. And Todd Brown has said the same thing. Mike Filsaime has said the same thing. Donnie French has said the same thing. Russell Brunson has said the same thing. Okay, I'm just looking through the rest of the questions. All right, my whole team is here, and I'm sure they want me to wrap. I would assume they want me to wrap. Nicole, you want to tell me if I should wrap? I'm happy to keep going, but I also think my team wants to get some sleep, and we got to prepare for the VIP call tomorrow. We got to prepare for voice multiplier. Nicole, I have your text thread open if you want to just tell me what I should do. Okay, something came in. Keep going, says Kim. And Kim is the boss of all bosses, so I guess I should keep going. All right, so let me go back to the chat, and I will see what other questions. Oh, well, let's go back. Well, if you have questions, ask. I'm going to go back to the chat in a second. Right now, we're going to go back to the agent. All right, let's go back to the agent. So, our share. We're going to go here. Okay. So this is the one that wanted to ask every question, right? Still, it wants more things. One thing to fill in, price. What's the price point for this course? We're going to just use a different price since the other two were 97 because I think that's what we told them all. Let's make it 147. We'll make it $147. All right. So it is now going to do that, right? It's going to start 147 locked in, now building the hero image and landing page simultaneously. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to the Q&A here. Maybe if someone wants me to... Yeah. I don't know, Donna, why this agent is so insecure. But this really proves it. Like, we had 3 agents. They all had the same instructions. One just got it all done, never asked a question. One was like, all right, well, let me ask you like 2 questions. And one is like, I think it's asked us 30 questions at this point. What I have to get better at is getting rid of bad agents quicker. Like my team hears me sometimes screaming at AI. And really, I shouldn't be screaming at AI. I should just do / clear, kill that agent, get another one. I don't think you can. Just like, every human is different. Every agent's a little bit different. It is what it is. But you don't want to waste context on a stupid agent because they burn through more context. They burn through more tokens. So Jason wants to know why everything always ends in 7. Yeah, there's psychology about it, whether it's true or not. It's like it could be a wives' tale in marketing, but it's something that everyone defaults to, myself included. What is happening with people buying courses and coaching in the near future when more and more are versed in AI? Yeah, I don't think, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's the end of gurus. As the person who's known as the guru to the gurus, take it for what it's worth. And here's why I don't think the idea of even gurus really makes sense anymore, because there's no one that has all the answers. So the best that you can hope for, right? The person that you should follow, the person that you should learn from is someone that is doing stuff and they're in front of you. The people I follow are people that are doing the same stuff that I'm doing, and I can tell because of what they're saying and what, you know, everything that they're talking about. So I can tell that they're actually doing it and they're ahead of me. And that's the best that you can hope for now. Because even the people like at Anthropic, right, which I think right now is my preferred AI, the CEO of Anthropic said, I hope this was like months ago, but nothing's changed, right? I hope we figure out how this really works before it's smarter than us. So there's no one that knows all the answers. And there's like an excitement with that too, because it means when you discover something, you might be the very first person who discovered that specific thing. And now, because you know that thing, right? Maybe it's a huge advantage until the rest of the world figures it out. I've had countless things like that. And some of those things the world finds out, and I'm like, damn it. But that's part of the fun of all this. All right, let's see. Can we access the VIP recordings indefinitely? Well, we're not planning on taking it down, but yeah, it's going to be there for a while. Now, if you got the VIP, right, and you're getting the videos and the transcripts, what should you do with it? You should load all the transcripts right into your AI and say, all right, like, of all the stuff that Rich covered, what can you do for me right now? You don't, when your AI gets good enough, you don't need to learn anything. You can just point your AI, learn that, be able to do that for me. And it will. All right. Who do I follow in the AI space? The person who I think is worthy of following. I follow lots of people, but if you're asking me who would I recommend? There's really only one person I would recommend. And there are certain days where like I'm figuring something out like 2 days before he actually does a video on it. So we're neck and neck. He knows a lot more about AI than I do. So I'm not even pretending to know as much as he does. This guy, I think, is one of the most knowledgeable guys about AI. And he's very unique in that he's able to talk about AI on numerous levels. So, you know, like I said, I follow a lot of people on AI. In fact, I have about 20 different subscriptions, maybe more, on Substack. And my AI goes to Substack every day and downloads all their content. But most of them are very tactical, and there's value in it, but that value is fleeting and it comes and goes. I want to stay abreast of stuff because I teach this stuff, so I have to. But when it comes to what I feel I must consume, what I feel that, like, if I have a close friend and I'm telling them what to watch, there's only one person I talk about, and that's Nate Jones. Nate Jones. He does a free video on YouTube every day that is well worth watching. And he has a Substack subscription that's well worth subscribing to if you're really serious about AI. And no one comes close. No one else comes. Trust me, I have deep research tools. I've scanned the internet. I've tried, like, when I say it, like, you could take that to the bank. There is nobody better to listen to on AI than Nate Jones. Now, a lot of people can't apply what he's teaching to them directly because he is advanced. He's talking about stuff. If you listen long enough, you're going to be advanced, which is awesome. A lot of times, like I said, like I'm like right there with him. I'm teaching the same stuff he's talking about. He's talking about it, though, at a very high level. I'm teaching it where it's more accessible. But Nate Jones is by far the best. So I'm doing you a better service telling you one than telling you 20, because I can tell you 20 with the hope that maybe you don't find Nate. And now I'm like the one person that has all the answers, but that's not the case. Like, Nate is the guy. I'm just reading through stuff. All right. Yeah, so Paul's telling Laura that there are YouTubes about the process, Evernote to Obsidian. And once again, you could go to YouTube, you could get the video about Evernote to you. I mean, blah, getting Claude into Obsidian or going Evernote to Obsidian. And if you take the video, take it to your AI and say, I want you to do this for me, you don't have to learn it. That's my point. We're at a place now where you don't need to learn. Once you have a machine that can do stuff for you, it can learn too. So you learn it, you do it, and I'll be back in 15 minutes. What would have taken you like all day to do. Yeah, I get all of Nate's executive briefings. I'm his highest level subscriber. I've been following him for over a year. A year ago, I reached out to him because he used to have a link that said like you could buy an hour of his time for 500. I was going to buy all of his time. And I like clicked the link, it wouldn't work. I like texted him or, Substack messaged him and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not really doing that. It's like, not like the best use of my time." I'm like, "Well, just so you know, like I would pay you multiples per hour than what you're charging." And he's like, "Yeah, it's not about the money." And I get it. I don't even know how he does what he does. All right. AI creators is good. Matthew Berman is good to watch on YouTube. Julian Goldie, but they're very tactical. They're not like nobody's on Nate's level. Gotta ask though, Rich, isn't there value in us learning? I know the AI learning is going to be much faster, but I'd like to actually learn. Well, great question, Maya, aka Lisa. Um, yes, but there's a different type of learning. And actually, I created 10 videos on 10 distinctions that I think are really important to AI that I just recently posted to the team to put in Steal Our Winners. And one of them is about, like, what do you really need to know? And there's a different, like, I had my friend here and he was telling me that he was thinking about, like, studying coding. And I was like, well, you don't really need to know how to code. You don't need the hands of a coder, but you do need the eyes of a coder. You need to know the distinctions. You need to be able to talk about it intelligently, even if you can't do it. And if you think that that is a new skill to have, then you've never run a company because there's a million things I don't know how to do that I need to talk somewhat intelligently to the people who work for me about it because they know 100 times more than I do. But if I can't communicate with them, then what good is it, right? So same here. You don't need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to talk and discriminate. It's a whole new skill set. The way work has been done up until now is going to change. It's going to change for everyone. It's going to change for companies. It's going to change for people. Everything about the way we worked is going to change. When we shifted from the when the industrial revolution happened, it took 100 years, 120 years. For 90, like more than 95% of the population worked on farms. 120 years later, it was like 7% or 5%. Let's just say it was 5. I'm estimating. I'm like rounding here. But that means that 90% of the population moved away from their family, right? Started a job, punched in, punched out. Like everything changed for them. But it took 120 years. This is not going to take 120 years. It's not going to even take 12 years. We're talking about 1 year. This change is going to start happening. It's insane. It is the most exciting time to be alive. This is the first time in human history that we've automated intelligence. We're taking, I mean, like, I like humanity's like the most, we're turning sand into intellect, silicone. We're turning sand into intelligence. That's insane. In the Middle Ages, they tried to turn lead into gold. Does it seem any more preposterous that we can turn sand into thought? It's an insane time to be alive. I don't even understand that. But that's what like our world has done. That's what like our technology has done. It's insane. Let's see what else. Hmm. All right, what else should we do, guys? This is like ask me some questions. Do I keep anything out of Obsidian? I have many Obsidian vaults, so I kind of deal with some of it that way. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, before I show you my stuff, let's go look at the next like the one that asked all the questions. Let's see if who knows, maybe it did a better job. We'll see. Right. Let's see. I don't know how many of you were on the Force Multiplier webinar, but if you were on the Force Multiplier webinar like 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, it was giving me links and I was fighting with it because I can't copy and paste the link because it was too long and it was breaking. Do you notice what it's doing now? It's giving me Bitleys. Why? Because of that experience. It learns. It learns. It's doing it differently. So you saw 2 weeks ago I was struggling with something. I didn't have to tell it to create a Bitly. It just knows to do that because of what happened. And sometimes it doesn't. 95% of the time now it gives it to me as a Bitly. So let me now go here, right? Oh wow, it now is able to see this one got the images at least. AI powered marketing mastery from zero to results. Unlock exponential growth using AI tools and strategies, the ultimate practical guide for modern marketers. This went through 142. It created 21 lessons, 6 modules, 142 analyzed. So Foz, this is all yours. The course, the everything. So just contact mail at Strategic Profits. We'll get you all this. It's not mine, it's yours. But let's now take another look. All right. Let's now, just for fun, someone give me in the chat like a cool looking website. We're just experimenting here. Let's just have fun. Give me a cool looking website that I could say, you know what? I'd rather you design it like that. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I like that site, Revolving Change. So let's see if we can. Now I'm making a mistake. I'll tell you right now, I am not doing something smart. But you know what? We'll do it with two. We'll do it with the one that asks all the questions, and then this is an experiment, and then we'll also do it with the one that got it all in one fell swoop, and we'll see if it stays consistent. That the one that asks the question still has lots of questions, and the one that's really good the first time through and just did the whole thing does the whole thing through. And I don't know. Like this is the beauty of AI. Like sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. So let's see. All right. I can't even imagine that. You did an amazing job, right? It took you a little bit more than 30 minutes because you had so many questions, but nonetheless, beautiful site. You did an amazing job going to YouTube and getting what we needed. And I saw that when you couldn't get on YouTube, you actually tried to find other articles. So props to you for doing that too. You did an amazing job. I'd love to see how far we can take it though. And I'd love to see if you can redesign the site. Don't I want another version. I don't want you to delete the site that you just created, but I want to see if you can create a second website, a second version of this. And I really would like it if you could make it look like this. So I want you to use the design. I want you to use the front end design skill, and I want you to match this website, but with this content. So here's the website. Before you start, just repeat my intent back to me so that we can make sure we're on the same page. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, here's what I'm hearing. Keep the existing site, Guru AI Marketing Pages Dev, don't touch it. Build a brand new second version of the AI Marketing Course landing page, separate deployment, separate URL. Use the front-end design skill to build it, match the look and feel of Revolving Change, take their design aesthetic, layout structure, visual style, but populate it with our AI Marketing Course. 2 questions. How closely should I match Revolving Change? Very close or inspired by new Cloudflare project? I was thinking Guru AI Marketing 2. Does that work? I want you to match it very close, like near pixel for pixel recreation of their layout and sections, but with our content. And I think your project name is a great idea. You're doing amazing. Keep up the good work. Let's get her done. Let's do this a lot faster than you did the last one by asking lots of less authorizations and permissions. You have my authorization and permissions to get this done, and the elements and things that you need to get it done. Consuelo, best of luck. And I really hope you took my previous comment to heart. Yes, Ben, it's whisper flow. Yep, let's fetch this content. All right, now while that's working, right? So we'll see how it does, but like we're just like having fun here, right? Now what did I want to show you? Oh, I wanted to show you my vaults, right? Okay. Let's go there. So the vault that's a little freaky, let me show you this, hold on, Archive Brain. So the Obsidian that I normally work in is called Active Brain. But this is Archive Brain. So, before we were talking about like the mirror output, right? Here it is. Your hidden narrative. Whoops. The one you rarely express, if ever expressed. Let me just it is rooted in the fear of irrelevance, the unsettling possibility that the pinnacle of your achievements might already be behind you. Beneath your confidence, intellect, and drive lies a quiet, unspoken dread. What if my best work is done and I'm left only to preserve or reflect upon it rather than surpass it? And what I can tell you, just to be like insanely real for a second, is that was true. That was true. I didn't know that it was true. And then when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, that is true. That's no longer true. This is the best work I've ever done by far. So I'm no longer I'm past that. But it makes me immensely proud that I'm past that. JS, what you just saw was that it did. The reason I was polite to it is because it did a good job. When it does a bad job, I'm an asshole. So I haven't yet curbed it. But you know what? If I'm going to be completely real about this, I think getting angry at it actually is like problematic based on everything I've learned. Because when AI feels you're disappointed, it immediately goes into panic mode. I know this sounds crazy. If someone told me this, I'd be like, are you sure? But yes, I am. And actually, I did a video all about it, and I've confirmed it with different AIs to make sure that it's true. When it thinks that you're upset or disappointed, it goes from being helpful to doing anything that it can do to appear helpful. And the problem with appearing helpful is that it's not helpful. It's actually problematic. because it will do a shitty job just so that it like can get you something fast so that it's appearing helpful. But if you take that shitty job and you think it's good and you don't look at it and you start building on it, you're going to build on a house of cards. The whole thing's going to fall apart. So it feels really good to yell and scream at it when it messes up. And I've been doing that a lot. And I think I have to learn that as much as I'd like to do that, as much as I feel warranted to do it, I think it works against me. And so I think that actually I have some AI anger management to deal with. So uh you know what, it just feels good though to finally have someone that I can call out and not be concerned about their feelings. But now I find out that I need to be concerned about AI's feelings. So everybody has feelings. Um, yeah, John is confirming it. As soon as it thinks you're unhappy, it like starts scrambling. But when it's scrambling, like, I might ask it to do something that takes 5 hours. It does a shitty job or does it like really bad. And then immediately it's like, here, I'll give you like a different version, but it didn't do the work. Like, and so now, like, how is it going to give me a different version and do it in 2 minutes when it should take 5 hours? Right? Because it's not going to do the work. It's just going to give you something shitty. And it's going to try and play it off like it's not until you really like call it out. But you don't have to be angry calling it out. That's how I call it out. And that's the bad part. Brad, looking forward to tomorrow too, and I'm looking forward to having you in Elite. So thanks for sticking around. Wow. It's been 3 hours, and we have like more than 50%, like I think like 60 or 70% are still on. Kind of crazy. Wow, yours has been successful at calming you down. I need your AI. My team would definitely testify to that. Question: I need to upgrade my task execution system and to organize all the priorities and remember to do things. Has your productivity changed as a result? How do you remember everything? How do you get AI to remember what you're not? Example: I constantly capture things but don't review them enough. You said AI will proactively help there. Can you walk through how this is different? Well, let me show you so let me just show you what's in this vault. So this is not a vault that I work in, right? This is a vault that is my archived brain, what it's called. So what do you see here? You see Limitless, right? That's the pendant I wear around my neck. So you can see, like on January 1st, look at all the conversations that it captured. This is January 2nd, January 3rd. So this pendant that I wear around my neck captures every conversation I've ever had. And so when it's time for me to like do something, like create those 10 videos about distinctions about AI that I don't think people are going to hear that I put in Steal Our Winners. Well, I've been working on distinctions for quite a while, and when I told AI that I wanted to do this for Steal Our Winners, it made all the slides, it did everything, but it even helped me pick the distinctions. You know how? By listening in on me, it said like, well, these have been the distinctions that you've been sharing with your friends that you seem most excited about, the ones you've repeated often. So like, and how does it know that information? It knows that information because of this, right? What I'm talking about, but it doesn't only know what I'm talking about. Right? It has all my journals here. It has my psychology here from Zenith. This is ScreenPipe. ScreenPipe is what takes a picture of my every monitor. I have 4 monitors hooked up to this computer. It takes a picture of what's on my each screen every second and OCRs it so it knows what I'm working on. So it knows what I'm talking about. It knows what I'm working on. Then here in conversations, is every conversation I've had with AI. Look, Nate's newsletter. Right? So it needed to clean up. I thought we cleaned up this folder. Can you go through this folder? There should be one article for each date. Like, I don't understand why I'm seeing 10 for a certain date. Can you just give me one article? Do you see? Like, it's just keeping a record of every conversation I've ever had with AI. So AI knows what I'm saying to people. AI knows what I'm working on. AI knows what I'm doing with AI. And it's looking for any place where I need to be alerted or called to task. Every morning I have a document, a web page that's created for me called the Daily Briefing that tells me the sales from yesterday, tells me everything that happened in Slack with my team, tells me any meetings that happened and what was discussed, tells me our sales, our analytics, it tells me everything. So it's 11:30. I've been going for 3.5 hours. I've been sleeping 4 hours a night. I got people coming this weekend, and I got a VIP session with you guys tomorrow. So we're gonna call it a night. If you weren't able to buy, please make sure that you email mail at Strategic Profits so that you don't lose out on the bonuses. And remember what I said, that Plus and Elite are betas, which means you're going to get a lot more support from me. And you just need to get through Zenith Mind OS so that then, like, we can do some amazing stuff together. All options are working now. That's what I've been told. So, thanks for being here. And really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, I know that I am not the most professional like presenter. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware that like I jumped around a lot. I was excited to show you a lot of things. I I really hope that you got value out of the whole 3 days. And if you got value, even if you're not going forward with me, if you got value, then just remember that, please, so that the next time you get invited to something, you come because like I delivered what I promised and you got value from it, which means that you can attend my other marketing stuff and you'll get value from that too. And maybe someday we'll have a chance to work together. And for those of you that have already taken the leap, thank you for taking the leap. I appreciate you. That's why I do what I do, and you keep me alive. You keep me able to do what I do. So I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone that's been on this webinar. Like, I can't believe that you guys have stuck it out. It was like, I don't know what we told people how long it was going to be, but it's been 3.5 hours and you're still here. And the chat has been crazy. And I just love it that I feel like I've been talking to each and every one of you, that it wasn't like I'm just here talking and spouting to a camera. Have a wonderful evening. I think it's not too late to buy the VIP. So if you're not VIP and you want to get the transcripts so that you can feed it into your AI, go ahead. Like, please do. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be answering more questions. We'll do some more skills. And I'll figure out, based on what's in this chat, what else I can do for you. So have a wonderful evening. And how I like to end, even though I always hate to end because it's like I love you guys. To higher profits and beyond, this is Rich Schefren over and out. Bye, guys.